your own keeping track of this?
I have my notepad in my hand.
Fantastic. Prosecution, was your list of charges?
So for the first, we have 1 count violation of Article 1, subsection C. 1 count violation of Article 3, subsection D. 1 count violation of Article 6 and Article 9. That's the first one. Moving down, we have Article 1, subsection A. Sorry, I'm lagging. We have Article 1, subsection D. And then Article 2, subsection D.
So let me say this again, just to make sure I have my own internal notes correct. We have 6 counts. We have Article 1, subsection C. We have Article 3, subsection D. We have a combined charge of Articles 6 and 9, presumably as a result of the same incident. Do I have that right?
Yep.
4 is Article 1, subsection A. 5 is Article 1, subsection D. And 6 is Article 2, subsection D.
PTS?
Go ahead.
Arbitrator, do you have these listed down anywhere out of curiosity? I have them on my notepad, but I would like a second reference to make sure I have not missed any information if the court will allot me with such.
I am also keeping my own notes. I do not mind sharing these to both the prosecution and the defense, by virtue of this just being a modified stenographer document.
Thank you kindly.
Let me get that to prosecution and the defense.
Oh, it continues.
You have more than 6 charges.
This is 4 against the primer. So it's all different articles for the evidence we have.
Carry on.
We have 1 count of violating Article 8, subsection D.
All right.
And then last one. 1 count violating Article 2, Article 1, Article 6. Got it.
Okay. While we are still waiting on the accused, I will go ahead and say this. Do you have 8 separate charges for prosecution?
No. We have, let me see here, 5. We got 5.
You just read me an itemized list of 8 charges. Where has something gone wrong?
So we have 5 pieces of evidence, and these charges, some of, like, 1 or 2 can be to 1, 3 can be to 1. And we will list them off as the evidence goes on. So, for example,
a moment while we are waiting for the accused, I'm going to try and condense this
all
for
good.
A moment. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Someone suggested, just to inform you, that we just teleport the persecution to make it faster. I'm not sure if you want to do that or not.
Yeah, Baker, can you do that for me and get the
Got it. Am I bringing the scion? Which scions want to go get her?
Cody, how about let me do that?
I am condensing it by virtue of how many times you are charging them under the same article. So we have 4 charges of Article 1 violations, and so forth. Give me a moment to condense this. 4.
PTS.
Go ahead.
He is currently trying to give you a slightly easier to read version.
Okay.
Lord Commissar.
Okay. I see what you're doing there. I'm still going to condense it like this, though, for the sake of my own mental sanity.
Oh, good. I'm just giving it to you.
Alright, they're all outside the room. They're just gonna have to walk in.
Yeah, bring them in.
Well, they can walk in. Like, they're just outside.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, let me see here.
Prosecution, correct me if I'm wrong in what I'm about to say. You have 4 counts of Article 1 violations, 2 counts of Article 2 violations, an Article 3 violation, 2 Article 6 violations, an Article 8, and an Article 9 violation. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 11 counts of pain.
Permission to speak?
Go ahead.
If the defense may request it, we would like a clarification on which edition of the primer that throughout the course of this trial the corporal will be held to.
1A second enlisted primer.
Permission to speak?
Granted.
May I ask for clarification as to why an NCO is being held to the primer of an enlisted man?
Go ahead, prosecution.
Because it was my belief that all of the 1A second was held to the same code of conduct.
Incorrect. There are several editions of the primers. Would you care for the defense to provide the NCO primer, by which, if I am correct,
Please
and
do.
arbitrator, please stop me, this NCO should be tried under the according laws of NCO doctrine, yes?
This is tricky because the accused throughout their career, and I believe throughout the chronology of the accused charges, occupied several different ranks during all of this.
Permission
and
to
wasn't
provide...
enlisted at some points in time and a non-com at other points in time. Am I incorrect in that, defense counsel?
Permission to speak?
I believe that you are incorrect in that, arbitrator. The majority of the time, to the best of my understanding, that if any charges would be levied against her and would not be subject to double jeopardy, as in things that she has already been punished for by the due diligence of the Inquisition, Commissariat, and Guard, all of these infractions would have had to been during her time as either a commanding officer or a non-commissioned officer.
I'm going to stop you there, and I'm going to say I will leave the argument of double jeopardy as a counterpoint for you to make during the tribunal.
Excellent.
I will also make a point, accused, if you did not hear this previously, by virtue of having selected 2 members to be a defense counsel, you yourself are not part of the defense counsel. You may still be called as a witness. You are not at jeopardy to file objections or clarifying statements for things your defense counsel posits. Okay. So, defense, with regard to Articles 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, and 9, are there significant deviations between the enlisted and NCO primers to the tune of not being applicable?
There are minute differences. I do not believe it will be an issue except on the instance of, I believe it to be Article 2. I have it up. Give me one moment. Yes, Article 2, proper respect to those of rank. There is some difference there, specifically subsection A. I won't go into great detail, but NCOs obviously do not salute same individuals as, say, a CO or a enlisted would. So there is minute there, but other than that, this should be fine. I just wanted to get a confirmation on which of the primers I should have in hand during this defense, sir.
Very well. And then if you believe that they are in their prosecution filing a article falsely that would not have applied to her at the time of the incident in question, you are free to make the relevant objection, and I will hear you out.
Thank you very much, arbitrator.
Okay. We are now 25 minutes past setting up foundations. I've gone through the overall rules. We have the defense and prosecution counsels established. The judge panel is established. Arbitrator is established. The prosecution's list of charges is established. With no further ado, I'm going to begin prosecution. You may lead with your opening statement. You have
one moment. Yes. Can the judges be provided with both copies of the primer that are being looked at? Because
Absolutely.
Thank you.
While the defense is distributing them, prosecution, your opening statement. You have 5 minutes. I will begin the timer when the first word leaves your mouth. You may begin on your go.
You got it. So, good evening. Basically, we have gathered here today to condemn the actions and words of Sabine E. Morri. I did not say this with a light heart or mind. I saw Sabine as a friend personally. However, it is my duty to go through with a tribunal. To state out first, I do not wish, and this is a request, that Sabine die if found. I wish for her to be fixed and be aware of mistakes that plague her. And my request is that Sabine be demoted and punished to the full extent without death, if the tribunal dictates it so. So, that the death is punishment in the case of a guilty verdict, and so be it. But this is not hard to be scared. I'm sorry, we're silent. This is merely draw light to what I believe a long-awaited justice, and may the Emperor guide us in what is the truth. And that's my opening statement.
Very well, prosecution. Very succinct. I appreciate that. Defense, similar opening statement. You have 5 minutes. I will begin on your first word. On your go.
We are gathered here today in this tribunal to dispute the case of one Sabine E. Morri. Sabine E. Morri, as you know, has been a member of this crew through and across multiple vessels, notably the Arethusa and his Eternal Watch, and has served arm in arm, shoulder in shoulder with the majority of you currently present in this trial tribunal. I apologize. Both the defense, the prosecution, all of those gathered here. She has struck out multiple times towards promoting unity, and has struck out multiple times towards building the Guard, building other factions to the best of her ability, and building them up into the best they can be. Sabine is not a perfect individual, but I would petition you to look around this room, judges, and to find such a perfect individual. As it currently stands, anything that they feel the need to bring against my defendant, I can assure you has either already seen the appropriate punishment, or, if it has not, it is nothing that warrants death, and I believe that a proper defense can and will be mounted against these things. And I ask that all judges keep an open mind. Finally, in regards to this, I very much am of the same mind as the Commissar, or the Lord Commissar. This individual is a personal friend of mine, and note that though that is the case, no bias will be presented, and we will be sticking strictly to facts of the situation. Other than that, thank you for allowing us an opening statement. The defense now rests on the opening statement.
Similarly succinct. I appreciate that. So, now prosecution, you are free to begin. I will remind both counsels that the canoness is tracking the prosecution's time, the wing commander is tracking the defense counsel's time, and you each have an allotment of 30 minutes. You are, I don't want you to be questioning how much time you have left. If you are that concerned about it, keep track of your own time, just as a way to avoid 58 requests for, what's my time? Prosecution, you are free to begin. I will remind both time trackers that we are not counting the business of the court against either party, and only their direct actions, such as questioning witnesses, presenting arguments, or presenting evidence, should be allotted to their time. Prosecution, you may begin when ready.
And so I shall. First recorded instance of Sabine E. Morri acting outside of their means and in violation of the Lord Commissar and the Primer is the instance pertaining to the first execution for Guardsman Chesty. Guardsman Chesty was being issued a proper punishment for stabbing another member of the 182nd. Sabine E. Morri stepped in on behalf of the guardsman and said, and I quote, "I am placing my foot down. You will not shoot my guardsman." They followed by raising their weapon towards the commissariat. During this ordeal, Sabine...
Who said that?
Me.
Accused, you have a defense counsel. They are representing you. I ask you to keep to that.
My bad, sorry.
You're good. Prosecution, you may resume.
As I was saying, during this ordeal, Sabine E. Morri attempted several times to dissuade us from following our directives at the behest of the Lord Commissar, because a punishment was already issued. The punishment was amended to properly fit the crime, however. As the one who
Objection.
issued out...
Proceed, defense counsel.
To the best of my knowledge, the situation with Chesty was born of a falsified report and a report of erroneous nature, and thus I would ask that it be omitted from their ability to bring forward as evidence.
By what virtue of it being an erroneous report would that clear the accused of what the prosecution is now speaking of?
They have claimed that their actions and punishment were just. However, the commissar that issued the false report was in fact held to a death sentence, and the particular instance in question was born of that miscommunication, born of that negligence of duty, and thus for them to bring it up here, I feel is not only an indictment against my defendant, but is also in poor taste and is founded off non-factual information, and I would prefer that that not be brought into this courtroom.
Objection.
Go ahead.
I believe that it is perfectly valid evidence, due to the fact that even if it was a mistaken report on the behest of the commissariat, the actions undertaken by Sabine E. Morri are still out of line and should still be met with the punishment.
I will slightly sustain for the defense counsel. Prosecution, you may proceed. However, this is a tribunal. We are here to find out the truth. I do demand that in all further reportings, you give the appropriate context for the incident. You are not here to free the accused, but if an incident is arised under false pretenses, erroneous conduct, failings of another member, I would ask that you mention that. Proceed.
I was just getting to that, actually. The punishment was amended to properly fit the crime, as the one who issued out the punishment initially failed to make a report, as well as failed to issue adequate punishment. We find that it is woefully unacceptable and a blemish upon the commissioned officers of the 182nd and the Imperial Guard as a whole to act with such belligerence in opposition to a higher power. For this, Sabine E. Morri was charged under the 182nd Code of Conduct for one count of violating Article 1.
Objection.
Go ahead.
The defense counsel would like to posit that as of the time of this incident, to the best of our knowledge, unless the commissariat would wish to disagree, Sabine E. Morri was in fact of the rank of a commanding officer of the 182nd, and thus in the rank and file commissariat held a rank that was above the ranks of the commissars present, to the best of the defense counsel's knowledge.
Oh. Hey, prosecution, is that accurate? That sounds accurate.
Is what part accurate?
The defense has levied the objection that you are drawing her up on a count of Article 1 when the reality of the fact was that she had a rank superior to that of the one ordaining her.
That is incorrect. Commissar Prefect Harrison was present, acting on the orders of the Lord Commissar. As it is known, the Lord Commissar outranks the CO of the Guard.
Objection. As by the
I was gonna get to this. Go ahead, defense counsel.
by the bylaws established by the Honorable Lord Inquisitor Caven and by all of our understandings and edicts as laid forward, all commissioned officers directly responsible for the leads of their factions are considered to be on equivalent footing. And as the handler is very much in a IC or a second IC position, as could be the same for the prefect, I would ask that this charge is thrown out of the court for misconduct and poor informant, and atop all of that, for the posit that the commissariat now finds itself superior to the commanding officers of the assembled factions.
To clarify for the assembled members of the tribunal, it is true, and I do speak now as an acting agent under the Lord Inquisitor, that those who lead factions, due to the disparate and unique nature of the factions present, not operating under standard imperial dispensation orders, are given a measure of leniency not standardly at place. That being said, both by the will of the captains, both the present and the former, and by the will of the Lord Commissar, who has remained in his post for some time, it is still the duty of the Commissariat to enforce the primer. And here we get into some fine-edged... I will deny the objection and allow the prosecution to go forward. However, all members of the court note that by inquisitorial writ, the Lord Commissar and the captain, unless it is in the execution of the Lord Commissar's duty, are both faction leads and are of equivalent rank. The judicator of the guard shares a rank with the captain by fucking writ of the captain, and thus holds to the same rank honors. The Lord Commissar, can you speak to where precisely the Commissar Prefect sits in your ordained command structure?
They're second IC, however, whenever I am not on the ship, they are my...
Okay, then for...
Objection.
Go on.
This is the duty of an IC, and their job is to, when the commanding officer is not on duty, to be the acting commanding officer. That does not elevate their rank to the equivalent of their commanding officer. They still maintain the position of second IC, even when acting in their CO's name.
This is true, but I would say this applies to the judicator as well. As by writ of Lord Caven, there is only one faction lead per faction, and though you can grant them a co-councilship of sorts within your faction, that does not mean your faction now has multiple faction leads.
Indeed.
So, for the business of the court, I will consider the judicator and the commissar prefect to share similar rank honors.
Clarification. I apologize. Go ahead, arbitrator.
And as such, seeing as they occupy near identical positions within their relative chains of command, and the fact that by writ of Lord Inquisitor Caven, the factions, unless it is within the otherwise executable authority of a faction, such as the prosecution of heresy by the Adeptus Sororitas, or the prosecution of cowardice by the Officio Perfectus, Article 1 doesn't apply between the Commissar Prefect and the Judicator of the Guard. Unless that order is specifically in relevance to something else, such as a failing of the Judicator on pick account.
May I clarify in a sense of good faith by the defense?
What does that mean?
I would like to clarify something I believe that you have a misconception on, arbitrator, with all due respects.
You may, however, I would like to point out we have been on the same objection for 10 minutes.
Proceed, I do apologize. Absolutely. I would simply like to clarify in good faith that as of the time of the accusation, to the best of the defense's knowledge, Sabine E. Morri was not the judicator. Sabine E. Morri was the judicator's second IC.
Oh. She was the, handler? Is that the correct rank?
As to the best of the defense counsel's knowledge, yes, she was a handler.
In which case, I do have to say that if the order is just a commissar prefect, it does have due diligence to command a handler if the handler is acting inappropriately.
The
prosecution, can you resume?
By all means. So I shall restart the charges for this piece of evidence. One count of Article 1. 1 count of violation of Article 1, subsection C, 1 count of violation of Article 3, 1 count of violation of Article 3, subsection D, 1 count of violation of Article 6, and finally 1 count of Article 9.
All right. To confirm, Ken, is your timer still rolling now that the prosecution has resumed?
Copy.
Fantastic. Prosecution, you may continue.
Lord Commissar.
For the second instance in which Sabine E. Morri grievously disrespected authority and station is when Sabine entered a duel with the Wing Commander himself. Wing Commander Novak obliged her with an amicable SAR and within the arena located in training commons. However, when Wing Commander Novak deemed he has had enough and was going to depart the arena, Sabine E. Morri did not relent and continued into assaulting the Wing Commander. The Wing Commander called for assistance and several individuals arrived to assist the Wing Commander. Notably, Warrant Officer Praetos Gadabini, Shock Trooper John McKay, and a Tempester Tarion Macarius. The actions Sabine E. Morri conducted during this instance is a stain upon the amicable agreement with the Wing Commander, as well as tarnishing the name of the 182nd. The Imperial Guard, namely the 182nd, pride themselves on their integrity, civility, discipline, and respect. However, this assault upon the Wing Commander shows that nothing but the blatant disregard for such values on the behalf of Sabine E. Morri. Thus, she has hence been charged under the 182nd Section Code of Conduct article, violating Article 1, subsection A, 1 count of violating Article 1, subsection D, and finally 1 count of Article 2, subsection D.
Objection.
Go ahead.
Arbitrator, I do not wish this take more time than it needs to be. However, as the subsection A referenced members of the Arethusa letter of the law is as such, this instance, to the best of my knowledge, happened on his eternal watch. I apologize for the quickness of that.
Repeat that.
Subsection A of the NCO Code of Conduct, number 1, thou shalt not endanger the lives of fellow 182nd. Subsection A, as verbatim, is all members of the 182nd are expected to prioritize the safety of all members of the Arethusa while performing their assigned duties, trainings, and responsibilities. No new addition has been released of the primer up to this point, and the charge they are attempting to bring her up on happened here on his eternal watch, to the best of my knowledge, meaning that, to the best of my knowledge, his letter of the law contains
Objection.
subsection A cannot be applied.
Objection denied. Hold a moment. Wing Commander.
Yes.
As the representing guard officer here, can you issue a clarification? Is the primer, as written, only intended to apply while aboard the now lost to the ravages of war Arethusa, or was it meant to apply to the 182nd, and references to the Arethusa, much like references to a base posting, are ornamental?
Can you please clarify the purpose of which I need to clarify?
If the 182nd primer says there is a rule, this rule applies to everyone on the Arethusa, does that apply only on board the Arethusa and not now that your forces have boarded Lord Caven's his eternal watch, or does it still hold as a rule, and the fact that the rule mentions the Arethusa is merely ornamental?
I believe the mentioning of the Arethusa is merely ornamental and a misprint at this point in time. Unfortunately for the defense.
Understood. Wing Commander, please pass along to the captain that he should fix that post haste. Defense counsel, objection is denied. Prosecution, you may resume.
All right. Before I begin with my next piece of evidence, I will, however, like to bring up Wing Captain Novak as a witness. Wing Commander, as I was.
Very well. Wing Commander, much like the councils, you, as a function of the witness and as a function of the judge by de facto, are placed under a standard oath of honesty. This is a tribunal convened under His Divine Majesty's writ, warrant, and ward, and under Lord Caven's personal writ. To lie as a witness is to commit heresy of the absolute and greatest order, and that will be sanctioned appropriately. Prosecution, you may resume.
Wing Commander,
Yes.
is everything we have stated about them assailing you true?
I believe everything you have stated is true. However, I need to make something clear. To that assault, to that fight, there was build-up. As you may or may not have realized, if you haven't investigated, or maybe you have, I don't know. But that was the first reunion me and Sabine have had. Me and Sabine in the past have had a sparring relationship that can be described as playful or rambunctious between us. That fight was started via me instigating that previously, between her not wanting to and then me taunting her in a playful, friend-to-friend-esque manner. When I requested assistance, I did wish for the fight to end, but it was very clear to me at that point in time that the fight had taken a step too far that I, at the time, admittedly could have done something better about.
So you admit to them continuing to assault you once it had moved past that friendly point, yes?
The entire time they were coming at me playfully. If they were coming at me with the intent to kill, I would be dead on the spot.
Why did you call for assistance if it was merely a playful manner?
Because I know I wouldn't have been able to get her to stop without resorting to more lethal means unless I had assistance. And that job had been carried out, as if I recall correctly, we were able to escort her back to her office without incident.
I see. I will reiterate the fact that it is unacceptable to be assailing officers in such a manner, to where they have to be restrained with assistance to prevent lethal means.
Objection.
Go ahead.
The defense would like to posit that that statement has nothing to do with the witness, and if the witness is to remain on the stand, that such statement should be saved for until the witness is dismissed.
That I will sustain. Prosecution, do you have any more questions for the witness?
I do not for this witness, no.
Defense, do you wish to cross-examine?
Yes.
You may proceed.
Wing Commander Novak, just to clarify, how would you describe in as few words as possible your relationship with Sabine E. Morri?
In the past, we were relatively close, but as we became officers, things drifted apart very slightly. However, I would remiss that there has been a strong professional relationship between us.
Would you describe this professional relationship as semi-formal?
Yes.
Would you describe this relationship as, even though it being semi-formal, it was indeed respectful?
Yes.
Very well then. Finally, would you describe the situation as it happened to in fact be a case of assault, or instead would you call that an individual who had too much fun, was brought under control by their cohorts, and should not be found here in court, in your opinion, by all means?
I believe that that fight, apologies, could you ask that again? Come on.
Would you claim such an action was truly aggravated assault or assault against you, Wing Commander Novak? Or would you claim that that was just a moment of heated heads and a moment of a duel that had gone a little longer than it should have, and that this was friends and cohorts reeling another person in, and that there was no assault to be had?
Considering that there wasn't any active report or investigation to my knowledge that was brought up to me, I would presume that to be the case.
The defense rests.
Noted, Wing Commander, you are dismissed from being a witness. Prosecution, you still have judicial initiative. You may resume your case.
I would like to point out the fact that they assaulted more than just the wing commander. They
Objection.
also assaulted...
Go ahead, defense counsel.
The defense counsel would like to posit that this is the trial of a veteran shock trooper, Sabine E. Morri, and other individuals assaulted during this time hold no fruition and no relevance to the case.
That is extremely denied. If the prosecution has allegations that she assaulted multiple people, it is still her assault that is being posited, and so it is of extreme relevance. Prosecution, you may proceed.
Others that were assaulted were the shock trooper, the warrant officer, and the tempester. And as such, I will request the warrant officer to the stand.
Which warrant officer again? I apologize.
Raptus Gatabini.
Wing commander, wasn't that warrant officer transferred?
To the best of my knowledge, unfortunately, yes, he was.
Then I don't think we're gonna... Oh, we have the veteran captain. Thank you, Captain Stratholm. Then that's not going to be possible, prosecution. You have the court's apologies for that.
Then I shall call Eterion to the stand, Tempester Prime.
Very well. Tempester Prime, you can temporarily suspend your security duties to act as a witness. All that has been said to the oath of honesty, as I gave it to the wing commander, also applies to you. Prosecution, please proceed. Prosecution.
I believe Eterion is muted.
Oh, Baker, can you fix that?
I shall fix this.
Appreciated.
Yes, the chaplain tech support.
Canon S, give the prosecution a free 20 seconds of time to make up for that momentary lapse.
Copy.
Terry Macarius is ready to participate.
I am here.
Prosecution, please proceed. My apologies.
Tempester Prime,
Yes, sir.
do you admit that more than just the wing commander were assaulted during that incident?
I do, as a witness to the duel as it had happened.
Would you say that it was more than just a playful assault?
There was intentionally a playful banter between the two, but as Sabine Morri got more and more aggressive towards the wing commander, I believe he started to lose control, and thusly she did as well.
All right, that is all I require of you.
Defense counsel, do you wish to cross-examine?
The defense counsel will refrain at this time.
All right. Tempester Prime, you are dismissed as a witness. Prosecution, you still maintain judicial initiative. Please proceed.
Lord Commissar.
This is yours.
Oh, as I was. Thirdly, Sabine E. Morri has destroyed equipment and wasted the Imperium's resources. For little discernible reason, she deemed it necessary to harm the property of the Imperium by slamming it into the floor. It is unascertainable the reason that prompted her to do so. She was located in the med bay and was met with a servo skull. This servo skull was simply fulfilling its assigned task of observation and recording and was destroyed. Surely it cannot be justified to this willy-nilly damaged wreck of equipment which we have been allotted. For this transgression, Sabine E. Morri has been charged under the 182nd Code of Conduct. She has been charged with 1 count of violating Article 8, 1 count of violating Article 8, subsection D. Lord Commissar.
To transition the members of the other factions within the Imperium, we shall now present an account from Crux Apothecary Zater. Crux Apothecary Zater entertained me when I was questioning him about Sabine E. Morri. The Crux Apothecary had held a rather unfavorable view of Sabine E. Morri, as well as their leadership capabilities. The Crux Apothecary describes Sabine as a waste. This obviously is quite a necessary way to be thought of by the members of the Lord Astartes.
Objection.
Furthermore, when questioned about her...
Defense counsel, go ahead.
The defense counsel would like to posit that the Lord Commissar's recent comment is a defacement of our defendant, and we would ask that that not be allowed here in this courtroom.
I will sustain that. Even if the accused crimes are heinous, prosecution, please refrain from insulting the accused. You may proceed.
Of course, it was merely a quote. Furthermore, when questioned about her ability in the field, the Crux Apothecary following the stay, he wished me to abstain the vocabulary used for, ignorance and needless waste of devoted loyal servants and equipment. That is all I'll say. That is a quote. This reflects extremely poorly upon the members of the 182nd. It simply cannot stand that the Imperial Guard so thought of this by Lord Astartes. Let alone the blatant criticism towards their ability in the field. If they are wasting lives in Imperial Guard and foolish decisions, this needs to be addressed, as well as draining resources of the 182nd with foolish leadership.
Moving on, we shall now move to the next piece of evidence. While sitting in the lounge, I was confronted by Sabine E. Morri. She presented herself in a very hostile and irritable fashion. Sabine E. Morri proceeded to speak to me in a very uncouth and unbecoming manner, even going so far as to threaten me. To paraphrase her wording, she threatened to rip every tooth from my mouth and force me to eat them in front of the conscripts. This is an extremely
Objection.
poor way.
Go ahead, defense counsel.
The defense counsel would like to posit that any information or evidence brought to this courtroom should not be paraphrased and should be to the letter and is exactly what's presented.
That is fair. Sustained. Prosecution, do your very best to recount exact wording.
If you lay a hand on my guardsman again, I will rip every tooth from your mouth, and I will force you to eat them in front of the conscripts. End quote. This is an extremely poor way to converse with a commissar, let alone a commissar prefect. I even issued a warning, which was met with little reprieve. She met my warning with the statement, quote, "You know damn well I'd win," end quote. This is an unbecoming way to address members of the commissariat, especially when I was acting in the best interests of the 182nd at the time. Finally, the report received by us that finally forced our hands was the suicide of Guardsman Newt. Guardsman Newt was a loyal, devoted servant to the Emperor, and has not once strayed from his path. Yet, when he was attempting to inform Sabine E. Morri that her entering the water basins was against the orders of the commissariat, they were met with hostility and threats. Guardsman Newt voxed several times for assistance, but we were unfortunately unable to respond, as we were wrapped up with other important matters. Guardsman Newt killed himself later inside the chapel, likely in no small part due to the way they were treated and threatened by Sabine E. Morri and her shock troopers. Guardsman Newt had a lover awaiting his return, and yet would never more do so. For this, Sabine E. Morri was charged under 182nd Code of Conduct for violating Article
Objection.
1.
Go ahead, defense counsel.
The status of the unfortunate individual's Newt's love life is of no validity to this courtroom, and it pertains nothing to the case.
That is true. However, I would ask both counsels to hold to the facts. However, I will not put a restrainment upon you that you cannot use colorful rhetoric so long as it is to the point of the truth. Carry on, prosecution.
She is then charged with violating Article 1, 1 count of violating Article 2, and 1 count of violating Article 6. That is it for the evidence.
Very well. Can stop timer. We have been here for an hour. A tribunal's time allotment is an hour and 20 minutes plus deliberation. So what I'm going to do is ask the defense. You have a lot, don't you?
I do, but I can fire through it quick. The only thing that'll slow me down is witnesses.
I don't want to rush you. Wing commander, what do they have on their time? The prosecution is still a 17 on their time.
According to what I've been recording, they have 28 minutes and 47 seconds.
Boom. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to institute a recess so that those among the audience, counsels, and judgments can go about whatever business that they had planned to carry out after the tribunal, since this has run slightly longer than I initially anticipated. I will make another ship-wide Vox call out and several messages of every type mortally available, but we should be back. York, what do you think? Like 25 minutes?
Why don't we go ahead and call a recess until 8:15 p.m. And then that will allow time for everything to go across smoothly. And
So 15 minutes?
Yeah, that's CST. It's currently 7:02 for me.
You want an hour and 15-minute recess?
Unfortunately, yes. The OOC reason for this is me and Cody are currently being press-ganged into being forced to go to the store and pick up shit. So you will lose your arbitrator, and you will lose part of your defense counsel if we are not given an appropriate amount of time.
Now, to be fair, like, it is all waiting for us. We're gonna go, load it in the car, come back, unload.
Yeah, we still have to run in and grab NyQuil, too.
Yes.
I'm gonna actually put a 50 caliber gun in my mouth.
Dude, if you do it, let me stand behind you.
I'll get in line.
Alright, we are going to take a 1 hour recess, and we are going to be back in 58 minutes. If that's not enough time, I will shoot myself. Everyone, take a moment. I apologize. Go ahead. York, get your shit together. Go ahead. I will have the Adeptus Astartes kill everyone in this room. Don't think I can't. Anyway, 57 minutes. Move your asses.
So can the
Judge Council! I ask that the Judge Council assemble. I have very choice words for everyone.
I'm staying here so I can meet with you.
we should.
I meant more in a separate Vox communication channel.
Prosecutions move
Council
back
member
channel.
Insignia, shall we meet more?
Judge!
I'm gonna set private 2 to be 4 people. That's where the judges, 5 people.
Somebody
because
drag
the
me
arbitrator.
down.
That's where the judges can convene when this is.
I only have access to my Vox overlay. Is there a cat dying?
Yes, that's Takala. I will be back.
Aw. Poor kitty. That cat was just ripped.
Go back.
But so considering they're gone, I'm gonna make an OOC point. Nobody should actually have any information in regards to that fucking event with Newt. Well, other than witness report of the sergeant, in all actuality, because every piece of evidence has been scrubbed. So. I mean, it's whatever. It gets the job done at the end of the day, but... I mean, it is kind of metagame, because nobody should have info on that fucking new thing. I was careful about that. Even the rest of the shock troopers scrubbed their shit, too. The reason I say that, Steven, is because fucking I scrubbed all my shit. All the shock troopers who were present were former MI, and every single one of the former MI were tech specialists. All of us know how to use tech extremely well, and are actually designed. Like our whole job was to break into shit and hack. If no logistician or anything of that sort was there, that was our whole ass job. So like, we were actually good with tech. So we went ahead and scrubbed all of our picto feeds, so there was nothing of the sort on them. And then Bodvar confiscated the camera before anybody would have time to do a data transfer. You wouldn't have any info on it at all. There's nothing for evidence. The most you have is word say. Yeah, hearsay. There's actually no evidence on that. At all. Word say, shut up, Trout. Shut up, Trout. What do you mean you're all former MI? That's not in your favor. What the fuck is that? That just sounds like OOC bias, dude. We did our job as we were supposed to. Like, I don't get how that has anything to do with these claims at all, you know? In any regard. Like, at all. They have nothing to do with it. Every single claim that's been made against me, excluding the one in regards to Chesty, has nothing to do with my position as an MI. All they have to do is in position of me being a fucking dickhead. That's about it. Yeah, fair. Yeah, fine. I'm going to listen to music then while we wait. Also, what's Buck's Discord? It's I think MG42 Buck. What? I'm just telling you. You asked me. That's his Discord. I don't think he's on though, so I don't think it'll matter. Pretty sure he's asleep because he's Australian time zone. So, which sucks because he's one of the best people. Whatever. I'm gonna listen to music.
Hello, I am back for a moment. Morbid. Yes, I'm aware. Morbid. Why are you dropping your shit on the ground? Why are you dropping a rocket launcher on the ground? I can on-server mute you.
Entirely unrelated Astartes. All voice communications now.
Did I just crash or?
The server crashed.
Oof.
Anyway, I was gonna speak to you when you guys are done about that. Baker, the Scions are right below us already.
Slightly confused here. Not exactly sure if I'm allowed to speak on behalf of myself. But...
No, you're not.
Dang, I have to get somehow so York can read my DMs then, because I have info that never got brought up because I never brought it up to York. All right, I'll hit you with that because it was in regards to one of the cases. Yeah, I know. I'll hit you with that.
Sabine, I'm gonna be real with you here. I haven't made my decision yet, but at the same time, regardless of whether or not that shit winds up being declared as metagaming, if it happened as I have heard the rumors, that's still fucked. And you need to be.
It wasn't even intentional. I did not intend to cause the guy to kill himself. I had no fucking clue the guardsman was gonna kill himself. In fact, my character actually, when she found out he did, she felt really bad because the whole thing was I was attempting to pull. Like, I'm just gonna give you OC knowledge. Yeah. I attempted to pull a prank on the rats, and I wanted to pull like one of those freshman pranks. And I was gonna chill in the water, and when the rats walked by, I was gonna pop out with the shock troopers and be like, "Hey!" And fucking, it didn't go that way. This guardsman found us and started bitching about it. In the fucking, he's like, "I'm telling the commissars," and Sabine's like, "Fine."
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I just need to know what exactly, like, as a member of Throne at this point, I need to know what happened there because.
Yeah. So, anyways, what happened there was we went ahead and we're gonna throw this prank on the rats, right? We're gonna pop out and we're gonna be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And what happened was this guardsman came in and started hitting me with "You're not supposed to be in the fountain, Corporal. I'm telling the commissar." And Sabine looked at him and went, "That's fine. You do that." And he went ahead and he kept being like, "Okay, then I'm going to tell them." And Sabine's like, "Do watch your back, though." And proceeded to tap her frag as a, like, fucking threat, right? And what happened was he turned around and he went and did his thing. And in response to this, I was smart enough to be like, "Okay, boys, scrub your picto feeds real quick." So, and considering every single shock trooper there was actually part of the internal division of MI, which was the electronics guys.
Hold on. I gotta cut you off for a moment. Speaking of that, who trained you on that? Because I, for the life of me, cannot remember giving approval for MI being trained in hacking.
That's what Kodiak's other thing set up. Literally, he added as a specialization that we could just casually know how to hack. At least that's how it was written in the document.
All right.
We didn't know much. We can't do, like, we wouldn't be near even close to the same level as your logistician, but...
Yeah, I get that, but still, all right, that clears up a lot of stuff. Okay, the server's finally actually booting back up. It took a moment to shut down properly. No, first, like I said, I've not come to a decision, and I will not take anything that's said here in character as part of my decision. However, Sabine, that's fucked.
I know, it wasn't intentional. I just didn't feel like getting bitched at by the commissar because I was in the fountain.
Then don't be in the fountain! Okay,
I was in the fountain to do a prank!
Just a moment. You are planning to prank the rats who are being taught by the commissars. The commissars were gonna hear about it anyway.
Yeah, I know, but it was supposed to be a haha funny, not a you're getting in trouble. And that's why I was like, bruh, okay. And then I just went ahead and threatened to frag him, and then he was like, "Okay, I recorded that." And then Sabine's like, okay, fuck, we're just gonna make it seem as if we didn't do this, and it's a false allegation. And then it went way too far, and Newt went all like super fucking.
Hey,
for lack of.
Server's back up. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Newt went full on just like absolute zealot and just killed himself because he felt that he was being like falsely accused, and I felt horrible. I was like, holy shit. That went way too far.
You threatened to kill the guy! He wasn't on his own terms!
Well, that's still fucked up. I wouldn't have actually went through with it. Anybody who knows my character on a personal level.
How is he supposed to know, though?
Okay, hold on. The boy was a guardsman. How the fuck is he supposed to know you wouldn't go through with it?
I don't know. I mean, I know it's a fuck up out of character, but from an IC point, I was smart and hit it. I was smart, and that's why I'm pissed off people are pulling out this charge, because I'm like, you have no fucking evidence other than to say I'm a guardsman who committed heresy by killing himself.
So hold on. I don't know what evidence they do have, but I do know we have his body. It's in Octavian's lab.
Fair. But
so I don't know what evidence they I don't know what evidence they gathered from the body, because I refuse to look at any evidence leading up to the trial.
I can tell you what would have happened with the body from my knowledge.
No. Yeah.
All right. That's fair. Yeah, I'm just worried because I don't want people pulling out metagame knowledge. Nobody should know anything aside from it was an allegation from a guardsman who proceeded to commit tech heresy and then shoot himself. And people are like, yes, this happened, so Sabine, you're evil. And
Again, you don't know what evidence they have. I don't know what evidence they have.
I don't know what evidence they could have. There shouldn't be any. I scrubbed everything.
That's why I'm about to say, yeah, Priska's right. Just chill and wait. I just wanted to know so that I knew whether or not this boy. I had to go make sure this boy was okay. OOC.
Yeah, no, Newt's fine. Newt's fine. He made a new character called Cash, and he basically plays like an Ogren that's not an Ogren. It's just a guardsman.
Okay. No, I'm familiar with Cash. He is now a tech priest.
Yeah.
In fact, he's in this call, but muted, so he's probably been screaming. He's probably been screaming at us this entire time.
Cash is a legend, dude.
I'm gonna remute fucking Yuki. Don't drop your fucking rocket launcher again.
Yeah, no, Cash is a legend. I have absolutely no OC hate for the guy. It was just accidental mishap that just turned bad, and then it resulted in an NPK that probably shouldn't have happened.
Either way, I'm gonna go back up where they're complaining. I came down here to bitch at Yuki for crashing the server.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember that one time where back on the Arethusa, somebody dropped like what I think was like 300 cans of water and it crashed the server? Yeah, and then the server died, and then everybody started raging on him. I felt so bad. I was like, Marcus, no.
Stardust.
I did too. I was like, no. I can't remember if I was a sergeant or an officer at that point. I don't think I've been an NCO up like other than recently since like what, April. Was it? Yeah, so I was probably an officer then. Yeah, I've been an officer almost my entire time on the server as Sabine, or at least when I actively started playing her more often. Like I made Sabine back in January 14th, and then I played the character for what do you call it? Some fucking yeah, I am. I like messing around with my unloaded Luger or Ruger. But no, fucking no, what's it called? They I've been an officer pretty much the whole time. So I wish we had an officer primer because that would totally make it easier to defend myself. But unfortunately, York never went around and made one because it was more of a personal training thing than an actual like written down document. So I'm forced to use the NCO one for most of them. But generally, I've been an officer for almost all of my time within the server. Like, yeah, 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 yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Bro, Deacon's meme. Also, yeah, I did. I remember that, dude. Yeah, I know. I can't remember what for though. Oh yeah, you went ahead and you were like, wasn't I Mariah when I killed you? I Okay, Bodvar, what do you mean? I didn't mean to get him to kill himself. I think it was you. Maybe. I don't know. If Newt has any say, he would DM me, but he doesn't. Well, no. This is Bodvar asking me in DM. Actually, I'll just respond in DMs through text. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, Priska. I'm not one for whipping out scummy backside tactics. I understand to keep some of them quiet so that the commissaries don't go. But like that Dang, Bodvar, you really do hit them with that. Dang. Alright. Anyways, no, I remember a couple of things, like highlights from the server throughout my time around here. Fuck, man. Um, remember Crunch? Remember Crunch? Crunch. Yeah, dude, I was one of the GMs spawning the shit smears. that was hilarious. I don't. I didn't pay attention to you too much. I'll be honest. I was like double. 99% of the time I'm on the server, I'm like double tasking. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. I'm never actively doing like one thing. I'm usually running like a Roblox group in the background, talking to other people, dealing with other things. Templar is constantly talking to me. I have to deal with fucking shit within the guard because when I was an officer, I did all the internal shit, and then like I'm never doing one thing. It's always like 30, and the multitasking gets very tiring. I try, and it doesn't work. Yeah. I mean, you can, but you can't. Like, you can multitask, but I'll be. Yeah, I get what you mean. I still claim it as multitasking, but I understand from like an actual yeah, I was gonna say from a neurological standpoint, it's not. But what do you mean he call your brain small? Priska, did you call me dumb? I'm gonna cry. No. Oh, that's nice. I'll do it for you. Dang. Okay, that might be a good idea. Anyways, blah blah blah. I have more DMs. God damn it! Why are there so many DMs? I mean, to be fair, it's a good way of relieving stress. Cause like, even though I feel myself innocent, it's good. Like, I smoked a whole ass pack last night, and that is not good. That is like actually. Why? Cause yeah, I'm aware. Do you know how old I am? And my laws, my country's laws, I'm allowed to. It doesn't matter. You could literally bring it up to court, and court would go, "Okay, what's your point?" Like, no, no. Yeah, I said smoking a pack. I was like, I did a whole goddamn pack last night, which I never do. I've done that once before, and I was like, holy shit, I need to chill the fuck out. I mean, to be fair, they can always move to different chats. I don't think the tribunal chat's locked. Well, that's sure, but they can always move to other chats if they want to talk. Other people do. Look, they'll look through all the chats. Baker and Kylel are in a chat. Argo and Showtime are in a chat. Everybody's in a chat. And Deacon, that's a really good meme.
And they're deliberating amongst each other.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just talking because it's a good way to relieve stress without murdering my fucking lungs. I don't know, man. But I like that meme, Deacon. I'm gonna frag you. He kills himself to avoid fate. Sabine, shocked guardsman. What did MI? Wait, did MI actually delete shit? Yeah, MI did delete shit. MI fucking scrubbed her account. Okay, I'm gonna hit you in DMs then. Once again, I'm hitting DMs. God damn it, I hate texting right now because it's fucking aggravating. Anyways. Yeah, I do. Wasn't he the cleaner? I even have a roll. When I remember doing a roll, and I managed to roll a nat 100 when doing it too. I even have a screenshot for it for evidence. I rolled a nat 100 when doing that. I was like, fuck it, let's try this. And then I got a nat 100 with a 35 mental, and I was like, okay, I think I'm good. Like, stinky cretin, excuse me, felon man, cat boy, listen here. That's rude. I am the worst at this, Felicius. I'm not good. I even told Yorick this. This is why no, I'm not gonna say anything classified. I'm not. I'm just saying I'm not a good fucking speaker. Anybody who knows me on a personal level at all know that I cannot speak well. Like, at all. I'm just not a good speaker. I'm not good at shit like this. So that's why I'm sitting over here going, bruh, because everybody's like, ooh, you're shit at talking. Ooh. Yeah, no shit. I stated it before this even took place. Like, I'm aware. That's what I mean. Speaking is not my... It's not a secret no more, though. Everybody knows. What do you mean? Anyways, no. Fucking... I'm not a good speaker. I've made that off from the very get-go when I joined the server. Speaking and charismatic shit are not my strong suit. Part of the reason why I never buffed up my persona either in character is because there's no reason for it really, because nobody ever uses persona. But then I also didn't buff it up because persona just wouldn't fit me. I'm not a talker. It's part of the reason I picked the fucking Krieger. They don't talk much. I mean, they do and they don't, but the Kriegers are not very much somebody you go, yes, that man, he's a leader. Like, you don't do that. You go, wow, that dude's an asshole. Dang, Bodmar, you really hit him with that. Oh my god. I should consume the crowd? What? Quote, you should consume the crowd to take their power. Alright. I mean, that's why I said /me becomes a semen demon and eats the Astartes gene seed as a joke. It wasn't an actual /me, it was an LOC /me, but it was funny. It was a funny joke. I think everybody would have killed me. I'm in a room full of fucking guardsmen, Skitari, Astartes, Scions, tech priests. I'm in a room. I have like a room of everything that will kill me. It doesn't matter how good I am at dueling when there's 50 people shooting at me from point blank. Like, and I don't even have a weapon. I'd be punching them to death. Like, bro, I'll just use the explode command. It's okay. Bro, put it back on. Wait. What the? Dude, was it you? No, you shot him in the neck, but didn't Clayton also do that? Oh. Dude, I still found that funny because somebody spawned a meme out of that, and it was like the retard simp character, and he had a helmet, and he's like, "I will avenge Mariah," and then there's the chat of Starties, and he's like, "No." That shit was great. Dude, I wish I had Gomez's fucking ability to just ear rape the mic with that fucking noise, because that would be perfect in response to that. Unfortunately, I don't have that. Newt confirmed I was the one. Yeah, okay. So apparently it wasn't even me. Bruh, okay. At least I know that now. I'm not gonna go further on it. I'm trying. Here, I'll DM you. Yeah, fuck you. I'm not learning. I'm retarded. I made this from the very get-go. I'm like actually brain dead. Like, okay. Anyways, apparently, I feel like a fucking VTuber. Is this what VTubers do? They just sit here and make random jokes, and everybody in chat goes "Boo!" into the mic, like. I'm Gargura, but I'm the shittier version. Anyways, there you go. There's your forbidden knowledge. Yeah, okay, so apparently it wasn't. Yeah, you got your info. There you go. I'm not gonna say that publicly. Tell Argo I want him to know. Can you DM him? Because I think Argo might be like, "You're attempting to bribe me. Stop." And I don't wanna have that risk. That's why I'm staying the fuck away from all the other people. Like, I would casually make jokes with Novak, because me and Novak make funny jokes with each other, but I'm worried people will take that as me attempting to claim bias or some shit. So I don't want to do that. I know it's a court case. That's why I'm saying I don't want to do that. That would be bad. People would, like, bitch slap me to the moon. I'm trying. I have two ways of dealing with stress. Either A, I fucking leave, or B, I just go, like, super retard mode and start making jokes 24/7. That's my way of dealing with it. Whether or not that's effective, who knows? But that's how I go about it. I'm that person who, when I don't like something, I get very fucking, what's the word? I don't know the word. But I just start laughing. That's my thing. Or racking the gun. Yeah, I rack the Ruger because I have ADHD, so I like to flip around knives like this, or I'll whip out the sword, maybe swing it around a little bit, pick up the 9mm. See, I would play with my hair, but like my hair is already messy enough. I don't need to knot it. Like that would fucking suck. Old women, dang, bruh. So fucking my grandma hit me. My grandma came up to me and she was like, she came up. She's like, Erica, why the fuck is your hair so bad? And I'm like, what do you mean, grandma? And she's like, your fucking hair is horrible. Go kill yourself. And I'm like, oh dang, thanks, grandma. And she's like, when I was a kid, our hair was short. And I'm like, okay, make your hair short. I'd rather not, grandma. It's not the I did. Wear your fucking hair short, grandma, please. Like, it was pretty bad. Consume the faction leaders' heads and steal their brainy bits to gain the knowledge? Dang. That's the real thing. If only it was a brain boy. Or a weird boy, or whatever the fuck. I don't know orcs that well. I know orcs are funny. They're the funny men. Slap him for 88 million? No, I would eat that thing raw for a Snickers bar. Oh my god. Oof, Bodvar, you really got hit with that fuck off. Oof. You know what? You know what the funniest thing about this whole case is, and it's not going to disclose any information. It's just something funny that I found happen. So right before I got arrested, right, I went AFK because I had a game on my Roblox shit that me and my developers dropped, and we dropped this game. And I played on it a little bit to see all the new guys who came, because we had like 35 people on. And we were just doing our shit. I come back, and then nothing's going on, so I go, okay, whatever. And my doorbell rings. Well, some of my shit that I've ordered over the holidays finally arrives. So I run downstairs and I pull it up. As a joke, I bought this weird Satanist necklace Baphomet thing. I don't know, I like buying weird, like, fucking shit like that, right? Like, I just buy stuff like that. I buy really odd stuff that you don't really have a reason to have, but it's cool, so you keep it. So, I have my weird Satan necklace, and immediately after opening and putting on my weird Satan necklace for 3 minutes, I come back, get on my computer, and there's the commissar ready to arrest me. So right after I got the fucking Satan necklace, I'm being arrested. Some bad joke juju, dude. Bruh. I have faith in my defensive court, or guys. I have faith. See, I figured I'd be able to speak, but apparently not. I guess I misread something, because some of the shit. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, and that's unfair. I get it. Uh, ironically, some of the shit that they said, I'm not gonna say it out loud, but some of the shit they said was actually incorrect. But considering it already went by, I don't think we'd be able to hit them with the objection. Actually, wait, no, never mind. I'm gonna hit you up in DMs with this. Ass fart staying. No, it was not. Alright, I will hit him with that. I also hit him with some other info too beforehand, because he was the one doing the speaking. Humanity, are you enjoying this? Me smiles creepily. Wait, isn't that the dude? I know that actor. That's the guy who played the fucker in Purge, the first Purge. Like, you know the. No, Bodvar hit me in DM with this gif of this dude, and I was like, where do I know this guy? I know that guy. And I'm like, oh, wait, that was the guy who played the, fucking crime boss dude in the first Purge movie. Like, not the first Purge in regards to when it came out, but, like, the one where it's, like, literally the first Purge that happens in fucking, I think it was New York. Bruh. Oh boy, I'm getting spammed with more memes by Dalboamanga. Anyway, painless suicide methods. Google. No people care about you being suicide. Dang. Sorry, I haven't been replying. I lost my aunt tonight. You lost her aunt? Did you find her? Brittany, no. Brittany, shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. Ew. Friend, hey, let's hang out this weekend. Me, sorry, I have plans. The plans, me laying down on the floor. Got it. Consume the fact. Anakin do be acting kinda sus, though. I don't know, man. Anakin looks pretty good to me. I think it might be Obi-Wan. Actually, now that I think about it, this is totally like a fucking game of Among Us. The commissars are all voting against me. They're all like, Sabine be kinda sus, though. Who knows? I don't know. Considering both people apparently don't want me dead like I first suspected, I'm not sure if I'm gonna die, but I do know goddamn well that if I don't die, I'm probably gonna get flogged half to death again like I was back in the penal pit. I'm probably thrown in penal legion for like, I don't know, a fucking year, which would suck ass because I know how bad Titus got it that one time. He got penal legion for 3 goddamn months, and I was like, oh, okay.
I'm back. Sorry about that, guys.
Bruh, you've returned.
Right. We need to step to private 2. Get there now if you're on the defense council or the defense.
Copy, moving. Where is it? There.
Yeah, sorry. Outside of the public view, I do need to apologize for the conversation you had, Sabine. I got dragged into it because you brought it up and wanted to be at the bottom of it.
Argo, with all due respect, I appreciate the maturity shown by you, but I'm in the middle of a defense council meeting.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to apologize outside of like the literally 60 people.
I got 5 minutes, buddy.
It's fine, Argo. I'll talk to you after the case.
Okay. All right. To go over, I've broken these down. Babe, can you mute for me? Thank you. I've broken these down by their opening and by case. I've got at least 2 bullet points for each. We're going to be calling John as a witness. The medical bay, alright, that's fine. I can work without him if I need to. Sabine, I'm going to go through these. So the first one was the Chesty incident. You say to bring either the Canoness or Nicole to the stand. I will vouch for that. I'll bring the Canoness.
Yeah.
Was she there at the time of this?
She was. Canoness was actually right beside me. I never actually. I think she can vouch for the fact that I never actually pulled up a firearm. They claim that.
Right, let me ask her in an OC. Hey, in that altercation involving Chesty, where Sabine asked them to stop, that was the first thing they charged her with. Case 1. I'm going to be calling you as a witness to the stand, irregardless of your answer to this question. Bean posits that she never raised a weapon and that you were right next to her and can vouch for that.
She had it in hand, but I don't remember her raising it.
Alrighty, thank you. Done. Alright, so that's case 1. And that's real. I can destroy case 1. Case 2, John was the... Who the fuck has joined? Alright. Kick him out.
I have...
Okay.
Alright. Yep, sorry, Bean. I moved you. The second one I'd need John for, so keep working on getting him on the horn. I will goose step charge 2 until the end to give you as much time, Priska. That's what you're going to be doing for me. Number 3, the medical... charge 2 is the one with the assault on Novak. I'm pretty sure by the cross-examination I've already got that beat down. I will be calling Novak back to the stand, and I will be calling the who else was there? John. So I would have called John to the stand as well, but without John, Novak will do. I can try to make a good case on that, but work on getting John. Number 3, which is charge number 3, the medical bay destruction of the servo skull.
That never actually was broken, at least from my knowledge. I went ahead and when me and Servius did it, because Servius can vouch for, we knocked it out of the air and proceeded to catch it, and then handed it back to the logistician. Yeah, it was literally a servo skull. It was a servo skull flying around, flashing us in the eyes because they used one of the Seeker models. And I continued repeatedly to request the Mechanicus to grab it. They wouldn't, so I proceeded to knock it out of the air and then bring it to them.
Okay.
And then Servius can be called upon as witness because he was right beside me when we did it.
Alrighty, I will be bringing Servius into this then. Thank you. So that handles that. Lastly, charge 4. If you lay a hand on my guardsman, I'm going to be that one's going to be a hard one.
Yeah, that one is. I can give you a bit of what's it called? What's the word? Fuck. Context. I can give you a bit of context to that one. So what happened was Friedrich proceeded to punch Wilful in the fucking chest repeatedly while he was in the med bay.
Is Wilful still here? Is Wilful here?
Yeah, he's right here. He's literally looking at me. He's looking at me right now.
We're going to be calling Wilful to the stand.
Yeah. Because basically what happened was Friedrich punched Wilful repeatedly in the chest, and when he punched him in the chest, it caused Wilful to almost die. Of course, being both a friend of Sabine and the fact that they're a fucking senior NCO, and arguably the most important senior NCO, Sabine turned around and was like, if you punch my guardsman again, I will kill you. Like, yeah. 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 Well, that's exactly it. And they almost killed Wilful off by punching him in the chest because they're fucking incompetent and thought that punching a guardsman in the med bay who's being treated is a good idea.
Alrighty, lastly, charge 6, which is the Newt stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did any of you all encourage the suicide of Newt?
No, none of us encouraged the suicide. And
who can I call as a witness?
You can call Bodvar. Call Bodvar. I think he's in the chat only. He's in... Yeah, it was a fucking metagame. Because what happened was the only thing... with the death of Newt, Newt reported Sabine to the corporal. However, they have absolutely no fucking evidence to his claim, and he claimed it against the entirety of the Shock Squad. So
Okay, we gotta get back down there. It's time.
All right.
Roger.
Alrighty. Hello.
Oh, fucking hello. Give me one moment. I'm making the slash event in case people are shitposting.
Alrighty. I'd like to bring an OOC concern to the table when you have the time, arbitrator.
Very swiftly, what's up?
To the best of my knowledge, and as I've reviewed with my defense counsel, charge 6 in specific to Newt, I feel should be dropped, as there is a very real, very plausible chance of metagame that led to the instance becoming a report at all.
Okay, tribunal aside, because now it's just a staff thing a little bit. Fucking Corvo, how'd you guys get that report anyway?
Went to the NCOs.
Oh,
Which
yeah,
were
I know the
reported
NCOs
to-
had it.
Which were reported to by Newt post-death on an OOC level.
They were?
I mean, Sergeant
wasn't made aware of
Raytashi,
that.
like,
Hold on,
investigated
hold on.
it ICLE.
Guys. Is Cash still in here? Cash is Newt. He can clear this all up if he's still here.
Fucking Cash, where's my boy?
Draw witness to the stand! Surprise!
Yeah.
Cash, you won't be able to talk in here, but if you're here, can you do like a /OC and be like,
I'm not seeing him in here.
No.
Let me see if I can get a hold of him, because he wanted to clear this up earlier, but I'm like, he wanted to clear something up earlier, but I'm like, wait till after. Where is he?
Yeah, because we only use the
Can I
NCO
clarify
report.
The only information I, as a staff, can even look into the whole Newt situation, the only person he told about his lover and everything was Invicta, and Invicta was like, go and farm your superior, so I don't know if that actually happened or not. Probably did.
On that note, Cody,
Yeah.
while I'm seeing if I can get a hold of Cash, I need something cleared up.
Okay.
Or your can clear it up, or whoever. Because apparently the MI could hack things. And I am very confused, because I cannot remember.
That would be a Cody or Servius thing.
Yeah.
Hacking was a certification. I never wrote training for it because I was like, when I do that, I'll get around with the Mechanicus and I'll sort that out. And then I gave it to Servius, and I was like, hey, I haven't done this yet, but this is a thing. Work with the Mechanicus if you get the chance. And then I fucked off.
Okay, so on that note, I don't remember working with Servius to get that done. Nobody in my council remembers working with Servius to get that done. And the removal of the evidence on an OC level was done via that certification. That should not have been given out if this is the case.
True, but I'm not going to wind that back that far, because we're already at the point of like, there's like 4 things about this tribunal.
If we have to wind back to deal with a metagame situation, we need to wind back to deal with a situation that they shouldn't have been able to hack if that certification shouldn't have been handed out.
Also, like, on a side note, fucking, I've got like 3 tech priests been about to go find out a bunch of shit from NCOs at some point, because apparently, Machine Spirit gonna be angry about hacking TM. I don't know.
That sounds fucking
Yeah.
And again,
I'm gonna break her fucking neck.
I hate to be the one. I think she was muted when she said that. She just came through my mic. So Argo, you can't hold that against her. A,
I'm
B,
not gonna hold it against her, but still.
Fucking sure, but if this was truly metagame, then that charge is invalidated. Even if the hacking thing is a thing that needs to be done, that is not a charge brought up by the prosecution at this point, nor do I believe that the prosecution has any means to bring that up.
No. What I'm saying about the hacking thing is she physically would not have been capable of scrubbing the evidence.
Okay.
And thus, metagaming is still an issue, but metagaming to be getting metagame, like, it's a complicated thing. Metagaming to metagame to
again,
metagame,
thus, with all of this confusion as brought forward, which is why I've asked for the dismissal of Charge 6, is because there's too much metagame, this is too much staff, like miscommunication, hacking a thing.
That has no bearing on metagame, because we also went off the voxes that he presented during the actual incident.
But you have yet to bring that as evidence.
They did. They mentioned it.
They mentioned it, but they
actually
didn't. I know they mentioned it, but they never brought those forward.
They also still have 17 minutes to present it.
I'm well aware, but they also went with the prosecution arrests, which to my understanding of the tribunal system means that they are beyond the point to be able to levy additional charges.
Levying additional charges, yes. Levying additional evidence, absolutely not. They can do that.
Yeah.
Fucking whatever.
Fair. Again.
Also, Sabine, I don't think basic camera knowledge includes completely wiping records of all cameras from that area.
Okay, so let me step in and clear something up on that. Tech in the Imperium is not user friendly. It's not like an iPhone where you can just go in and delete a recording. Especially since, again, mind you, this is not something a tech priest would have as a stance. But machine spirits are kinda baby AI, and it would fight you on trying to delete data. Thus, that's why, like I said, 3 tech priests are gonna be like fucking angry machine spirit noises. I mean, again, you may have rolled 100.
All of that a fucking side. How are you?
We do need to continue, I believe.
I added him. He's offline. We can't get a hold of him. There's nothing that can be done about it.
Fucking, for the moment, there were boxes that are public that fucking definitely happened. There's fucking the sergeant reports, which the commissariat would have no way of knowing if those were metagamed or not. But to my knowledge, Ray Tashi did investigate that. And, like, his report is genuine? It might have been a little bit in the form of, like, I don't know, if he had a fucking diary and Ray Tashi found it and read it, and I don't call that metagaming, but...
On the one hand, sure. On the other hand, there is currently several charges brought against the client, and I am simply trying to state that one, because of the potential of metagame, I feel should be dismissed. Because they have plenty more to make their case.
I absolutely disagree.
If they are going to make a case.
I mean, is there the potential? Yes, but fucking, to the best of my knowledge, the commissariat is going off of genuine information, public boxes, and then multiple reports from NCOs who they might have been metagaming. In which case, yeah, I get where you're coming from, but until I can get fucking confirmation on that,
then the charge will stand.
The charge will stand, but judges be advised there is a possibility that their reports might be fucked. The boxes are genuine, for sure. Those reports might be iffy.
Well, I haven't had the report, so I haven't read them.
Alrighty. Thank you, Arbitrator. I apologize for asking that and causing the debacle, but I wanted that clarified.
You're fine. Okay. So, Canoness, Watch Commander, are your timers ready? You're good?
Yeah. Swing Commander, by the way.
Sorry, what the fuck did I call you?
Watch Commander.
Wow, yeah. All right. Anyway, Wing Commander, Canoness, Magos, Chaplain, we're good. Prosecution, Defense, we're good.
Aye.
Okay,
Yep.
fantastic.
Roger.
Where we left off, the prosecution had just rested their judicial initiative. Defense, you have, I believe, 28 minutes and change on the clock. It is
28:47. Understood.
Timer is rolling.
So, going back to case 1, I'm going to read directly here from my notes, and from there I will build a picture of case 1. First recorded incident, Chesty, the stabbing. They claim that she had attempted to raise her weapon. At this point, I'd like to call a witness to the stand.
Proceed.
Canoness Kylil Silora, will you please make your way to the stand?
Canoness, all that has been said of the Wing Commander and the Tempesta Prime goes for you as well. Bear that in mind. Defense, you may continue with your questions.
Canoness, were you present at the time of this reported incident?
The incident of
the altercation between Sabine and the Commissar on account of the stabbing committed supposedly by one Chesty.
not at the first arrest, but the second one, yes.
At the second one. The second one, I believe, is the case in question here. Moving along from there, your vicinity to one shock trooper, or correction, at this time, veteran handler Sabine. Can you please describe how close you were to her physically during such altercation? Were you within earshot, sight? Were you next to her, across the room?
If I'd flapped my arm, I would have hit her.
Okay. Would you say that from that position in the room, you could give an accurate statement as to the ongoings of that altercation?
Yes.
Can you agree that you are in your right mind and faculty, both during the time of that incident and now?
Yes.
Okay. Was there at any point a time where one veteran handler Sabine E. Morri raised a weapon against the commissariat?
Not that I can recall. She had weapon in hand, but did not raise it, at least as far as I can remember.
And was there a time where you were dismissed from the situation and returned to it, and in that time could she have raised the weapon?
No.
The defense arrests.
Prosecution, do you desire to cross-examine?
Yes.
Please proceed.
Canoness, you stated that you were within arm's reach of Sabine, correct?
Correct.
And that means that you were positioned to the left side of Chesty, correct?
I believe I was on his left side, yes.
Very well. Were you not more fixated on your battle sister raising the weapon towards the commissariat and that altercation rather than Sabine?
Objection.
Go ahead.
Prosecution is leading the witness. The battle sister has no relevance to Sabine raising the weapon.
Denied. He's raising a valid concern that her attention may have been distracted during this fucking altercation by people she gave more care and thought toward. Prosecution continue.
Would you say that's an accurate statement, Canoness? You were concerned about the battle sister with her raised weapon.
I would say that's inaccurate.
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 So you were paying more attention to Sabine.
Incorrect.
What were you paying attention to?
So as part of our training, we are to keep in mind any potential aggressors, as most are. And so keeping her in my sight to the left, my battle sister on the right, I was doing my best to keep everything in sight, with my back against the wall and the commissariat in front of me.
I recall you stepping in front of the sister between the bolter and the commissariat. Did you not do this?
At one point, yes, it did.
That
when weapons
was the
would not go
time
down.
when the weapon was raised by Sabine.
Objection.
Go ahead.
Can they provide proof of this claim?
I mean, fair, can you?
I have the testimony of Commissar Adrastia for that. I have the testimony of Commissar Prefect Harrison for this.
Objection.
Go ahead.
Any commissariat member present at the time of the incident that would be brought up onto the witness stand, it is the defense's posit that we fear their accounts would be too biased, as they were in fact levied a weapon against them by the battle sister, as the prosecution has admitted.
So far you've done nothing to demonstrate that the commissariat are holistically unreliable and would lie in this court, and so I'm going to allow it.
Very well.
As Battle Sister Nicole were present, we could also bring forth their testimony of the canoness stepping forward between the commissariat and her own bolter. So, reasonably, there is potential. The canoness missed the weapon being raised by Sabine E. Morri. That is all I have.
All right, very well. Both sides of the question to canoness. Thank you for your words. You are dismissed as a witness. Defense, you still maintain judicial initiative. Please continue at your leisure.
All right. Building off of the back of the witness that we just recently had on the stand, as we can ascertain, there was a lot going on in that situation. One of the things of note, and of significant note here, is that as the persecution has indeed validated the punishment, or the report and punishment that Chesty was about to receive was in fact erroneous, and was a falsified report, or a lack thereof. This would bring to my concern, and the defense's concern, and we would like to posit this, that if in this situation Chesty was in fact falsely accused, and given that the defendant was in fact a member of military intelligence, it is of a reasonable and valid nature that the member of military intelligence charged as second IC would be aware of any discrepancies if they are performing their job correctly. Which up to this point, despite the claims brought against Miss Morri here, nothing has said that she is not true to her station and her duty, though they do have the thing about the vigilance. I will get there in due time. But, as we can see, the punishment was in fact erroneous. The persecution agreed to this. And on that note, this boasts into question the two...
Objection.
Go ahead.
The only erroneous admittance that we have given is that the initial punishment, which was the assignment to the medbay for Guardsman Chesty, it was later amended to one that fits the crime.
Objection.
Go ahead. I'm curious what your objection to the...
Not only have they stated that that was the case, they also stated that the individual in question failed to file a proper report, which is a second violation. They have admitted to this. Clearly, that by them positing, they've only said that they have had one count of erroneous behavior, when clearly, if we check the stenographer's report, it is two that they have posited here over the course of this tribunal. I would say that their objection is, in fact, invalid, and that they are straying from the truth.
I object.
All right, hold prosecution. I'm going to put a pause on that right away. I will note you are correct, defense counsel. However, I will sustain the spirit of the prosecution's objection and ask, if you were going to call things erroneous, you point out specifics instead of mislabeling the prosecution directly, just as I've asked previously the prosecution not to insult the accused, and instead point to her crimes. Carry on.
Absolutely. So, that is my notes on case one. Clearly, as we can see, this was a heated, or a charge one. Clearly, we can see this is a heated situation, and that unfortunately, one Sabine E. Morri simply attempted to conduct herself to the best of her abilities in that situation. It was not until that the canoness came under duress that the prosecution here posits, by their previous statements.
Objection.
Go ahead.
As previously mentioned by yourself, Second IC is no fill-in for a faction lead.
Go ahead.
As the arbitrator also stated, was that the adjudicator is the second IC of the guard, and so she would be the third IC for the guard. Therefore, she had no place stepping in, even though she received no orders to do so from Servius either.
Wonderful. Oh, that's not my line. Go ahead, arbitrator.
Yeah, that's really not your line. Objections are fielded to the court, not to each other. In case
I apologize, arbitrator.
The purpose of this tribunal.
I have not arbitrated.
As much as we would love to see that.
Be quiet, Wing Commander. Now.
I apologize. That laughter is the canoness, arbitrator.
That's fine. Now, I will sustain the prosecution's objection. I understand that rank structures are weird for each faction and whatnot, but it is important to make the distinction now legally between the faction lead, who is the one person who Caven has put in charge of the respective factions of this battle group, the 2IC, who is the nominated person by the faction lead to assume their duties either simultaneously or in absentia, and everybody else who holds positions within the command staff but are not one of these two nominal individuals. Carry on, defense.
The defense would like to posit that in the regards to the rank structure of the 182nd, there is an allotment for 3-second ICs of the following nature. First is the first lieutenant. Second is the other slot for the first lieutenant. Third is the handler. The defense would like this noted in the court. Moving along. In regards to this was clearly a heated situation. This was clearly a rough one, out of lack of a better term. And clearly, the commissariat was following up on their reports to the best of their ability. However, the reason for them being there in the execution of Chesty, as is proven and is fact, that whole situation was caused from the misreport. That being said, I feel that case 1, at the worst, is a situation of Sabine taking initiative to step up and defend a chamber militant of the Inquisition. And in best case scenario, is the exact same thing. So,
Objection.
therefore...
Go ahead.
Sabine stated verbatim that they were stepping in for the guardsmen, not the sisters.
Sustained.
Then the defense would like to bring to the forefront that it is by the prosecution's own cross-examination of our called witness that they stated that the canoness would have only been apt to miss the raising of the weapon when she stepped into the line of fire against the commissariat. Now that that has been noted... Oh, go ahead, arbitrator.
Carry on. Apologies.
Alrighty, second case. Or the second charge, rather. Yes. I know what you're about to ask for. We would like to call a witness to stand.
Go ahead.
We would like to call Servius to the stand if he is available.
Is he actually? Let me check. Let me confirm. One moment, I'm checking the roster.
We got him.
Very well. One moment, I shall give him permissions in this broadcasted box. One moment.
Shock-Corporal, I will remind you, you were under oath by audit of Lord Inquisitor Caven, who channels the authority of His Divine Majesty, the God Emperor of Mankind. Lie at your own peril. Defense, you can proceed.
Alrighty. Servius, my first question for you is as follows. Were you present for the incident in question?
I was not present, no.
Very well then. My second question for you, Servius. Can you please, in as few words as possible, recant to us the reports you received on this situation?
Received information of my handler intervening between a reported at the time full punishment and attempting to save our own personnel. Also received information that weapons were drawn, though I'm unsure of which designations were given.
Very well then. In your professional opinion, as your formative role as Judicator and your current role as Shock Lance Corporal, do you believe that Sabine E. Morri would have raised her weapon in such a situation without valid reason?
Without valid reason, no.
Alrighty. In your experience with Sabine E. Morri, is there ever a time that you can point to where Sabine E. Morri leveled a weapon unnecessarily against a member of this vessel whom is a member of the faction of the Commissariat?
My recollection? No.
Thank you. The defense rests on this witness.
Prosecution, would you like to cross-examine? And
I have nothing I need from this.
Okay. Are you questioning the witness or are you making a statement? All right, witness, you are dismissed. Carry on. Defense, proceed.
Very well then. Excellent. Very well then. Moving along to the second charge. The second charge was for the supposed assault of Wing Commander Novak. Now, as you remember, I've already cross-examined Novak. I may call him to the stand again here in a moment. But first, I would like to attempt to call to the stand one veteran shock sergeant, John McKay, if he is present. Witness to the stand.
Checking the roster. I am unsure if he is here. I do not see him. I do not think he is part of this.
He does not appear to be present.
We have tried to reach the individual in question. Will we please be allotted a 1.5-minute recess to send a message via the Vox cord?
90 seconds, defense counsel.
Thank you, arbitrator.
This timer being paused.
Yeah, for 90 seconds. Because if the witness has provided that he will be here, and he has, for lack of a better word, fucking fled in absentia, I will give the council a moment to either re-secure him or call him a lost cause.
The character, I gotta go be right back. We have 90 seconds. I might be longer than 90 seconds. Can someone reaffirm the timer?
Keep control of the timer. After this gets resolved or not, I have a thing to say as arbitrator, ideally.
I will be a minute, trust me.
I'll take over timer duties. How long is left on the timer? Showtime.
I will pay me.
Okay.
Thank you. I will be back probably within...
PM me the time.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
I've not received anything.
Oh,
While we're on recess, defense would like to posit that we would prefer to wait until all judges are present to continue the show.
Oh, okay. You sent me in game. I'm stupid.
That is granted, which is why I was telling him not to worry about it, but whatever.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Sorry, what's being called for?
Novak, get the fuck out of here.
Hurry up!
Be gone, Thought. Don't worry about the timer, Baker. It's gonna stay paused till Novak returns.
Yeah. So, how's the weather?
No, we're not doing that.
So what does everybody think about my profile picture?
All of you stop.
Now, what I'm going to say as arbitrator while we are in a temporary recess is, this tribunal makes me sad. This tribunal makes Lord Inquisitor Kaven sad. This tribunal makes his holy ordos of the Inquisition sad.
Explain some sadness.
That's not my personal emotions. That is a legal statement of my professional disdain over what has happened here today and what is about to resume and continue.
Well, we have to wait for Showtime to get back, so...
I am aware of this. Go ahead.
Well, I guess now's the moment.
Hello?
You good?
Was those two coughs the OC notes?
I guess the...
Alright.
Good luck on DMing.
I'd like, please have him wait. My fucking headset fucked up. Hello, I'm back.
Hi.
Okay, speak, Briscoe.
Go ahead. Just ask. Did I DC?
The server crashed when we were out.
Okay. I apologize.
He was gone, don't blame him.
Yeah, I'm getting back in.
Keep your panties straight, damn it. That goes for you too, Anthemius.
So wait, why are we waiting for Showtime?
What do you want?
Because he's a judge! Alright.
That's true.
What is
hell?
I do have a question for the arbitrator.
Go ahead.
Would you be willing to have the prosecution send us their documents when we convene to pass verdict?
I would support that as well. I would like all charges given to us judges during deliberation.
Here's what I will say. Prosecution, defense, anything you have that is previously documented, if you are quoting reports, and both of you have on a lot of different measures, forward those to me, the arbitrator. And when we go to deliberation, I will pass things out, we will take some time, and we will go over things appropriately.
You're a fucking Chad, Cody. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I can tell you right now they ain't gonna go through, but I'll try.
I'm already getting documents.
The defense would like it brought to the attention of the court. I know we're not back in session, but the defense would like it brought to the attention of the court anyway, that the defense has only had an estimated 16 hours to prepare this defense, and all of our documentation is on physical paper. I will be happy to take screens of that, though I feel that it will be of little relevance to the judges. My goal is to make my case here, not in the deliberation chamber.
Just hold on. Just go give it. Cody's gonna distribute it, so just go physically give it to Cody when we leave the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a pad of case notes. Like, it's nothing. We have no documentation. The defense was not afforded enough time to do that.
Okay, then, alright.
I would like to assert the fact that it is in the spirit of the tribunal, and that is how it is written.
That I'm not going to get into a mudslinging match between fucking the prosecution and the defense in the middle of a tribunal.
Forgive me, arbitrator.
It also does highlight some flaws with the system, given we've never had a chance to test it.
This is the 41st millennium. That being said, the tribunal system will bear some refits.
Discovery, please.
Fuck you.
I want discovery, goddammit! This is OOC, mind you.
You have to discover it then.
Yeah, I have a right to discovery!
Discover these hands!
You need to roll to discover, okay?
Alright, we lost our minds there.
Discover it, damn it.
Oh, this is... Huh.
Cody, hand it out. Hand it out. Hand it out to the judge.
He said he'll hand it out when we go to deliberate, Baker.
Yeah, the deliberation. Go ahead.
And that is too late for all that.
I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. I kind of hope this tribunal kicks people's asses and makes them think, hey, we don't want to... God damn it, fucking Dante. I kind of hope that this tribunal kicks people's asses into gear and it's like, we don't want to do this again. You know what I mean?
Yes. I know what you mean. We will look at refits to the tribunal system after this one has concluded.
Post it in
Be
the
assured.
suggestions is my recommendation.
Never mind. Not going to say that.
Please do not piss off the arbitrator more than necessary, Frisk. I'm trying to win him over, not cause him to fucking slap us.
To be
I mean, he
clear,
already wants to commit suicide.
That's an OOC comment. Do not hold me liable. We're on recess.
I know, and I'm saying also, I, as arbitrator, don't have a vote unless these fuckers behind me tie.
Yeah, but you can determine the punishment, which is execution of the accused via flinging the almaness and their other defendant buddy into the accused at Mach 7 and then sending them out an airlock.
I was gonna come back there and snatch your hair off your head. Did you take
I mean, throwing the almaness
I scooted it, pulled this one out,
in
scooted
the
it.
almaness's armor.
Yeah, I gently let it thump to the floor.
Kill them.
Yep.
If I may make one OC comment
swiftly.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So there's been two. There's been another one prior to the whole system where the commissariat went to put up Chesty, And it was when the sisters put up Chesty. I have a recording of that. If you want it, I can send it to you. I have recorded a good portion of that.
I want that recording right now.
Gotta be all.
Oh.
Because, yeah, I can send that to you real quick.
The defense would like to posit that anything attained during the recess portion should not be considered as evidence to the case and has been invalidated.
It may very well shift the OOC aspect of this if this literally is ridiculous. I'm not even going to lie.
I'm also, again, even the official stuff that is being sent to me, I am only distributing after the case has had its full swing and we are in deliberation. And
Yeah.
if I'm getting ridiculous bullshit, I'm not going to be like, hey, judges, look at this.
I'm also 90% certain it was like just prior to the commissariat, like rank
Also,
one in Chesty, but I might be
not to do a bra moment to Showtime, but this case has been running for almost 2 hours now. Can we please just get it going again?
What did he say he was disappearing? What does he say he was going to disappear to do again?
With all due
He just is
respect,
not going to come back for a while.
with all due respect, Baker, this is a courtroom. You came to court, buddy. Court takes a minute.
Yeah, no, but there was an allotted time limit. We weren't supposed to take an hour recess, and we also weren't supposed to take another half-hour recess.
Then I will forward you the Discord of my landlord, and you can by all means argue that case to them.
I'm
I
sorry.
think I will pass on that one. See, I don't have an issue with the 1 hour because that was you having to actually go get groceries. However, Showtime also signed up to actually be present at the court case, and he is unfortunately unavailable.
Then by all means, Baker, you can push him to a tribunal after this case is over.
Oh, no. You don't even joke about that. I will break your fucking toes.
What did I just know?
Nothing.
But either way, can somebody answer, what did Showtime say he was going to dip to do for a moment?
He just said he was going to go be a hot minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I will explain later.
Okay.
A hot minute. He's still got some time. This still qualifies as a hot minute in my opinion. It'll eventually become a cold minute. Yes, you are
Someone
correct.
call a squad out for Showtime because he's obviously fallen in.
Who is speaking and why?
I heard the Showtime's thing is green. It was.
That was just the thud of the body hitting the floor. What
Of course.
Briscoe? Why? Because I'm gonna be real here, Brisca. There's a very good chance I go and bother my roommates to go get something to drink after the tribunal.
I'm gonna be blitzed out of my mind when this is over.
So, for what? Answer the question. Or for the, if you don't answer the for what question, the answer will always be no. So you're gonna have to answer the question at some point. The prop thing, that's not just a me discussion. Okay. Brisca, I tried to tell you the other night that like it was already being discussed. It was said no to it. Well, I mean, it's not like we're holding up the case. We're literally waiting on Showtime.
I want to push forward that we just move on.
Showtime has to hear the evidence to give a verdict.
I'm going to take very tiny wooden splinters and I'm going to insert them at random all over your body.
Who, me or Baker?
Baker.
I'm sorry, Baker, but like he's literally 25% of the council.
Oh, okay.
I get it. The issue therein lies. We are attempting to increase server performance, as you've seen literally today. Adding add-ons does affect that negatively. So. I mean, it's just a matter of, do you have a list of things that you could potentially argue that could be taken out in place of them? Okay, well then we can talk at another time, because that'll be a whole discussion in and of itself. I just want to make sure you're actually prepared for that discussion. Yes, you may be passionate, but if a verdict of no is given, I don't want to spend the rest of the night arguing with you. And that'll have to also include Cody, because like.
Everton?
Oh, was that a showtime?
That's a show.
Oh,
Hey!
thank Christ.
Okay, alright, okay. Everybody. Titan. Defense, Titan. Prosecution, Titan. Judges, Titan. Defense, if I'm not mistaken, you still have initiative. There's no outstanding objections. You're going.
Alright, Buck is now present in the courtroom. Again, we were calling a witness to the stand, so...
Cool. Okay, Buck, if
Let me
you
give
haven't
permissions
heard,
real quick.
I'll say it again. What? Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna
do
give
that.
permissions.
But, you are under, like, full writ by this court. Like, as orderly possible as I can stress this. Like, fucking shoot straight, kid.
What is this Discord name? Just real quick, toss it my way, just say it.
D-Man.
No, his actual Discord.
Buck.
Got it. I think I have it. This
He's
should...
on mute. He's on mute.
There we go. He has talk permissions. Speak real quick for me, Buck. Okay.
Did you
Hang
physically...
on. I can't see him in the Discord.
I physically unmuted him. If he's not talking, it's on him now.
well.
He just lit up green.
Check, 1, 2, Buck, you with us?
Hello?
Hello.
There we go.
Alright, sorry. Again, sorry I was late, bad sleeping pattern.
Alright, defense, you can do your thing.
Alrighty. I go ahead and run the timer, but I'm going to try to bring John up to speed, as I feel that's only fair to him. John, to advise you as to what is going on, this is a question of the supposed assault of one John Novak by one Sabine E. Morri, during which you were called to assist in the stop of this supposed assault, and this was off the back of a duel between the two of them. Prosecution, have I missed anything? I will take that as a no.
That sounds right.
Thank you, prosecution. Moving along. John, when Novak called you to this issue, he did so over radio, yes?
Yes.
Okay. When you were called in, would you please, in as few words as possible, describe to us Novak's demeanor during this request for help?
I remember being called in. I do not remember anything past that. I need to know what when this happened, because I've been busy with a lot of things, so I do apologize.
Prosecution, can you please give the date and time of the incident?
Yes, one moment for us to pull that up.
What alarm was that?
That was mine, pardon me.
You're fine.
Arbitrator, the defense would like to request that the timer for us be stopped while they are pulling up that information.
I'll grant that, and if the timer's been running, cut off, what is that, 15 seconds?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Alright, I have a date for this.
One more time?
I have a date for the incident. 12/10/761 M41.
That was literally a month ago to the day. Neat.
Alrighty. So, Buck, timer, I believe, would resume now. Buck, or correction, John, I apologize, similar face. You, my good sir, are being questioned in reference to an incident on 12/10. of the previous Standard Terran year of this millennia. Thus, again, I will ask, in this situation, could you please provide us some context to the demeanor of Novak during the request for help?
Considering it was a month ago, I do not remember the situation, but of my side, I just remember at the time being called to a situation, and that's all I can recall. Sorry.
Understood. If that is the case, the defense rests on this witness.
Prosecution, would you like to cross-examine?
Shock Trooper.
Yes.
Would you happen to recall whether or not Sabine E. Morri struck Novak, Wing Commander Novak, after the assistance was called, or struck yourself?
I myself was not struck in any way, and so was Novak, in for what I can tell.
So you are unsure about this?
Novak, yes, I'm unsure about Novak, but for me, I was not struck in any way.
Did you witness anyone else being struck?
No, I did not.
That is all from me.
Alright, Shock Trooper, you were dismissed as a witness. Prosecution maintains judicial initiative. Please resume.
The defense would like to also posit that in the recent objection we brought up during the prosecution's time, in regards to this very charge, we posited that this was at the letter of the law was Arethusa. One thing we would like to posit for the court here is that the commissariat should have, at this time, been aware of such an instance and should have brought it up, and may have led to some level of clarification in the case. And in the specific regards as to how that merits itself to this case, if the commissariat is enforcing an incorrect primer, then we would call into question the legitimacy of the accusations brought against one Sabine E. Morri. That is for us to simply posit and request a note of.
Objection.
Hold a moment, prosecution. I was under the impression, and I believe the court at large was as well, that we had settled the issue of the primers by dint of there are 3 of them, and in all of the 5 incidents that the prosecution has brought, care has been noted to what rank she was at the time, thus we can primers individually. Am I incorrect in this?
No, sir, you are not.
Okay. Prosecution, do you still have an objection?
I will cite the article itself. Friendly fire shall not be tolerated at any time for any reason. That is all I need to cite from that to get my point across.
Okay, that's not an objection. To clarify for everybody present, objections are either directed at what the court is doing or what your opposing counsel is doing in regards to inappropriate conduct of a tribunal. You don't need to object to make a statement. You just wait for when you have...
Arbitrator, if I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was in response to them attempting to alleviate the charges from Sabine E. Morri.
I understand that, but understand that what I am telling you is objections are of the manner of they are disregarding this part of the tribunal process. They're leading a witness. They're lying is a fair objection. Statements of your own case are not objections. You see what I'm saying?
Understood, arbitrator. Forgive me.
All right. Defense counsel, please resume.
Very well then. Moving on to charge number 3 in reference to the supposed destruction of one servo skull within the medical bay here on his eternal watch, we would like to call the witness to the stand.
Very well. Who would you like to summon?
Servius, please.
Servius, you should already have speaking terms. You've already been sworn under oath. Defense, you may proceed.
I may have accidentally taken away his perms. Let me fix that.
I'm here.
Oh, no, I'm stupid. Never mind.
Alright. Servius, Voc check.
Copy.
Alright, defense, carry on.
Alrighty. Servius, were you present during the so-called destruction of the servo skull in the medbay?
Yes.
To the best of the defense's knowledge, you were there assisting Sabine E. Morri in the apprehension of the servo skull. Is that correct?
Correct.
And to the best of the defense's understanding, and we would like a confirmation on this, if this is the case, Sabine E. Morri did not destroy the servo skull, simply knocked it from the air, and one of you caught it. Is that correct?
Correct.
Servius, are you aware of what was done with the servo skull after you all caught it?
Last my recollection, we handed it over to Mechanicus personnel for check function.
Alrighty. Did any damage of this servo skull happen while it was in your care or Sabine's care?
No.
Was there any visual damage to your knowledge of the servo skull, such as dents, scratches, abrasions, and so forth, that would have been caused during this incident?
To my knowledge.
And to the best of your knowledge, and as the former adjudicator of the MI, was any claim or report brought to you by the Adeptus Mechanicus professionals on such a matter, claiming that the servo skull had been damaged by you or Sabine while in your care or apprehension?
No.
The defense arrests with this witness.
Prosecution, do you have anything?
Servius. Do you or do you not remember the Logisticon Nullus radioing in?
Radioing in what?
Speaking of disabling the servo skull.
I recollect the radioing of its status.
Very good. Did Sabine E. Morri disable the servo skull via slamming it into the floor?
No.
Then how was it disabled?
Grabbed it and apprehended it via grapple.
And what was your reason for doing this?
And continued to flash us with high intensity lights for what we sought as no reason.
I see. That's all I have.
All right, Servius, you're dismissed for now as a witness. Defense, you have initiative. You may continue.
Thank you very much. Moving on to charge 4. I would like to call a witness to the stand.
Carry on.
One Commissar Prefect Elanius? Or, correction, Frederick. I apologize. I always mess up the gentleman's name.
Very well. You've already been sworn in properly as a counsel, Commissar Prefect. Lord Commissar, do we have you?
Yep.
Okay. Carry on.
Prefect, just for clarification, this all happened in the lounge, correct?
That is correct.
And Prefect, during the time you were spending in the lounge, would you be willing to inform us as to what you were doing there?
I was sitting there conversing with a guardsman.
Was there alcoholic drink involved?
Not at that time, no.
Has alcoholic drink, or correction, was there consumption by you of alcohol within 6 hours of this incident?
No.
No. Okay. Thank you. Now, moving on. In the charge here, you say that you were threatened, correct?
Correct.
And you say that she threatened to what exactly?
Rip every tooth from my mouth and force me to eat them in front of conscripts.
Very well then. Can you posit, perchance, through your own opinion, why she would say such a thing to you?
She was agitated because of what I had previously done to the Master Staff Sergeant.
And what had you previously done to the Master Staff Sergeant that would cause this level of irritation?
I had struck him twice.
Twice, you say?
Correct.
And this was where?
Located in the medical bay.
So you attacked a staff sergeant by punching him twice in the chest within the medical facility of the ship, correct?
It was meant not as an assault, but rather a way of assistance.
Was the staff sergeant at this point injured?
Yes.
So you, by your own admission, struck an injured man in the chest twice in the medical bay. Yes or no?
Correct.
Were you asked by any medical personnel to do such a thing?
No, I took initiative because there were no medical staff in the room.
And you would posit by taking that initiative that you are more qualified as medical personnel in the med bay than any of the medical staff? You would posit? But you punched him in the chest, did you not?
I did. I fail to see the correlation.
Because by punching him in the chest, we can both agree that that was an attempted form of treatment. An attempted form of treatment by non-licensed personnel falls under malpractice. That is malpractice and put risk to the staff sergeant's life. Final question. When Sabine approached you about this, did Sabine present you with a weapon?
They did not have a weapon, no.
And you are a trained member of the commissariat, yes?
That is correct.
And you are trained in hand-to-hand defense skills, yes?
That is correct.
And I would like to believe that you all are put through a very similar training regimen to the Scions, yes?
That is correct.
And in your professional opinion as a trainer of Scions, which is superior? A shock trooper or a Scion?
A Scion.
Meaning that with you having the same hand-to-hand skills as a Scion, and knowing that being the case that you have a beyond reasonable chance of defending yourself, would you claim that you truly, and beyond a shadow of a doubt, felt that you were in danger in the lounge with this training against an inferior opponent of shorter height and fairer sex while they were unarmed after you committed malpractice?
The court has a minor objection. Defense counsel, this is the Imperium of Mankind. We do not discriminate based on gender.
Very well, then. Then consider the fairer sex comment revoked.
I also object.
Prosecution, what's your objection?
To state what's in the primer of what Sabine did, thou shalt not afford thou shalt afford the proper respect to all of those rank and shall conduct themselves with humility and respect at all time. No matter what had done before, they should conduct themselves with humility and respect. That is not humility and respect. And Sabine is trained as a proficient CQC soldier, so I see her as equal to Friedrich.
Friedrich, could you agree with this statement?
I would agree with the Lord Commissar.
You would, but you just posited that your Scions are of a superior quality to the shock troopers, yes?
We are not talking about the average run-of-the-mill shock trooper. We are talking about Sabine E. Morri.
Indeed we are. Now answer my question.
Did I feel threatened?
Yes.
I did.
You did. Noted. Noted. The defense would like to rest its case, but posit a point if we are allowed to.
If you are done questioning the witness,
yeah, I'm done questioning the witness. Yes.
Wait.
Of course.
Now, prosecution, I have to put you in the position. Would you like to cross-examine your own co-counsel?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, Commissar Prefect, you're free of being a witness. Defense counsel, posit what you please.
Defense counsel would like to posit that from this elicited reaction here, that one Mr. Commissar Prefect Frederick here, feeling that he was threatened by one Sabine E. Morri, we believe that to be a overstatement of the situation, and we would like to bring to the judge's attention, just for the note, that the prefect here is a trained soldier. He is a commissar. He has received Scholar Progenium training. He's received Scion training, as per the standard fare of this ship. And the individual in question is half his size, was unarmed, and though a CQC specialist, we cannot claim that the 182nd CQC program is anywhere near the par of the hand-to-hand combat training of the Scions. If you would like to ask as to where that minute amount of expertise comes from, I am a Sister of Battle. I have been through the Scholar Progenium. Moving along. Finally, we have charge 5. I mislabeled as 6 earlier. I apologize. This is the case of one unfortunate Mr. Newt. In this, we would like, as the defense, to posit that Newt's suicide and the supposed charge brought against Sabine are erroneous. are misinformed, poorly investigated, and we would like to state that the death of Newt firmly and straightforwardly had little to nothing to do with one Sabine E. Morri. We can affirm that he had voxed for assistant. We can affirm that one Mr. Newt is no longer with us. However, we cannot confirm that Sabine had anything to do with such a crime. Unless the prosecution would like to present evidence otherwise, that is what the defense would put forward.
The Voxes were public.
Indeed, and we have that noted. Now, can you provide evidence to connect those?
Negative.
Understood. If that is the case, then with what little time we have left, I will call to the stand 3 more witnesses.
Who's up first?
Novak, please.
Wing Commander, if you'll please.
Fantastic, I'm here.
Defense, you can continue.
Wing Commander, we have but a simple question for you.
Yes.
One of the charges brought against my client, as we understand it, and I will assure that this is in fact the case, has to do with fleeing the battlefield. In your professional opinion, you're not inferior, but you're the individual under your command through nature of you being a CO in the Guard once Sabine E. Morri. Has she ever been known to flee from combat?
As long
Objection.
Which is?
When has it been stated that we've charged her with fleeing from combat?
That is what I am checking.
2, I have to cross-check the primer, but I don't think any of the charges are for desertion.
The
I,
best
as the
of my knowledge,
prosecution,
they
can
were.
affirm we did not charge them with desertion.
Excellent. And I appreciate that. The defense would like to posit that before this time, when the prefect was approached to ask about the charges, desertion was on that. They have not brought that to this tribunal.
Objection.
That is fine.
Go ahead.
I did not present that. That was miscommunication. I don't know where that was lost, but I did not charge them with it, period.
If I may, I do have notes for this situation, and I will present them appropriately. Desertion is referenced in number 3, as by my notes written when the charges were afforded to me. Charge number 3, as posted by Frederick, was Article 3 times 1, subsection D times 1. These were specifically noted as separate when we were presented this before the tribunal, and it is noted that A3, thou shalt dedicate oneself to the eternal watch of their station and shall never be found wanting for vigilance, very much covers under subclause B, desertion. Though they have pointed out a specific infraction of D, they also pointed out a holistic infraction of number 3 when we were asked for the charges before the fucking tribunal.
They were charged with that for the defiance of the receiving orders, not for desertion of their post.
Sustained. The accused does not stand accused of desertion. They stand accused of disobedience or negligence in the face of orders.
Thank you very much. Very well then. Wing Commander Novak.
Yes.
Is it in your experience that on the field of battle, or in general, Sabine is one prone to not following orders?
So long as the message is demonstrated in a clear and concise manner, I have not once seen Sabine E. Morri question or even belay an order given by a superior.
Thank you very much. We rest with this witness.
Prosecution, do you want to cross-examine?
Wing Commander.
Yes.
Have you or have you not seen them engage in melee combat contrary to what the rest of the Guard were currently doing?
I have seen Sabine E. Morri engage in melee combat
Objection.
Go ahead.
Her engaging in melee on the field of battle has nothing to do with her delivered orders, as the question was stated by the prosecution. I would ask for a clarification on their question.
Sustained. Prosecution, where are you going with this?
When the guard are ordered to the sandbags to hold down an objective, have you or have you not seen Sabine E. Morri cross over that sandbag line contrary to what was issued out to the guard to engage in melee combat?
I have not seen this. The only melee combat that may have happened was likely taking place behind the sandbags, as I have seen Sabine defend herself properly with her power weapon before. However, in other instances that I can recollect, she has never crossed that sandbag line, especially when the order is to be given by the commissariat that if you turn around, you'll be shot.
I see. That is all I need.
All right, Wing Commander, you are dismissed for now as a witness. Defense, you say you have two more. Who's up next?
Before that, the defense would like to posit something for the court to observe. The defendant in question, Sabine Morri, is in fact a recipient of the Golden Grenadier. The Golden Grenadier is an award given for standing your ground when all others flee and holding firm on your position as ordered. We would ask that that be noted, and we would ask that that be observed. Moving on to our second... Thank you very much, arbitrator. Moving on to our second witness, we would like to call a witness to the stand. That witness will, in fact, be one Connor Strathholm.
Veteran Captain, if you would... Defense, you can continue with your questioning as soon as his auxiliary is properly restored. Baker,
Sorry, what?
can you get fucking Connor speaking terms in this bitch?
Yep, got it. Sorry.
Oh, Celia here. Baker, you gotta pay attention, buddy.
It's fine.
It's really not.
Become silent.
I would rather not.
I can't actually find him in the Discord for some reason.
Starts with a 7.
No.
Yeah, I know. Looking up LaRouche does not.
I've got him. He's.
There you go. Connor, Vok check.
I'm here.
All right, defense, you can proceed.
Captain, if I may request of you, during your time in the position you were in, would it be fair to say that you've received a myriad of reports, both from the commissariat and from the MAI, pertaining to a number of incidents between the two factions?
Yes.
Would it be fair to posit that those reports were often of an exceptionally conflicting nature?
Yes.
Very well, then. During this time, were you ever given a reason to doubt MI and their capability of filing reasonable, valid, and truthful reports?
Only once.
Would you please elaborate on the time in question in as few words as possible?
I cannot recall the immediate situation. I would have to look back, but there was a time when a situation happened involving the adjudicator late at night, and I had received many private Vox messages about it, but had no report to cite. It was about an incident involving Battle Sister Nicole Fire and Commissar Jostia. I had not received a report from my adjudicator at the time of the report to me personally.
Alrighty. Then, on the up and up, would you say that they were capable of filing reasonable, truthful, and honest reports, worthwhile reports, and the like?
Yes.
Excellent. Then that in mind, and all of the charges that have been brought forward, being the supposed Sabine raising her weapon against a commissar during the Chesty incident, being the supposed assault of Wing Commander Novak, being the damage of the servo skull, quote unquote, or destruction of the servo skull, quote unquote, in the medical bay by Sabine and Servius, being the charge of the threatening of one commissar prefect, and then finally Newt's unfortunate demise, though MI was not alive during such a time. During any of these, did you receive a conflicting report from the commissariat versus the MI?
It was very rare that I received reports from the commissariat unless I went directly to them asking for them.
I see. And you, as the captain of the guard, should be kept in close conference with the commissariat to the best of your knowledge and opinion, yes?
Yes.
And that the commissariat, if an issue arises that is of these natures, should be bringing those to your desk, correct?
I will amend my statement in saying that they are not very quick at issuing me these reports, but usually requires me to have to ask for them.
Yes, but it's the commissariat's duty to bring this to your attention.
It is true.
All right. Then my question to you is, from what I understand, they failed to do this on a lot of these, correct?
Yes.
Very well, then. Thus, my question then becomes, on these instances, did MI file a report with you?
Yes.
On all of these instances, with the exception of Newt, because MI not being around at that time?
Yes.
And were you
Objection.
given...
Which is...
The commissariat is under no obligation to stream reports to the captain unless requested.
Yeah, that's sustained. However, point of mention, along with faction independence comes voluntary agreements. Caven doesn't care if the commissariat doesn't forward reports to the guard. But if there has been a prior agreement between the two independently, that's between the two of you to figure out, and that's not a bitch of this tribunal.
Understood. Before the questioning continues, the defense would like to posit something in relevance to this objection.
Okay.
The defense would like to posit that the captain was in fact asked to the best of your knowledge and ability, and the captain's statements have been on that clause.
So noted. Carry on.
Thank you. Now, Captain, from these reports that the MI filed with you about these situations, were you ever given a reason by the MI, by Sabine, by anything not of the commissariat, to doubt the validity of these reports?
I would like to say that I doubt every report that I receive.
Of course.
Not based on who gives them to me. I never take a report at face value. I always investigate both sides, regardless of who it comes from. So I'll not say that I doubted them because they came from the MI. I doubted them because it was only half the story.
Indeed. But you would still agree that the merit of these reports were equivalent to any other report of nominal nature handed to you?
Yes.
Okay. And finally, final question on that. In the regards of one Miss Sabine E. Morri, out of any of these charges listed against her, do you have anything that you would like to bring forward here now, evidence or otherwise, in regards to this that could alleviate one of these charges?
May I interject real quick?
You may.
Seeley, I have to go. So, Friedrich is in charge of the prosecution. Adrastia is my replacement.
Baker, can you get Adrastia's fucking...
Got it.
Yeah, appreciate
What is
it.
Adrastia's Discord name real quick?
Adrastia. It's Major Blackfire.
Major Blackfire, thank you.
Okay. The court notes that at this point in proceedings, Lord Commissar stepped away on urgent business, and his position in the prosecution council is filled by Commissar Drastia. Defense counsel, you may resume as you were.
Do I need to restate the question for you, Captain?
No, you do not.
Hang on, I'm still trying to find Adrastia before we continue. Discord perms are being completely broken right now. I can't add her to the, or add them to the, permissions.
You don't need to, just unmute.
Yeah, I know, here, unserver muted. There you go. Adrastia, you are unserver muted.
Before the tribunal continues, the defense would like to request that any time that might have been rolling during the Honorable Lord Anthemius' interjection be afforded back to us if at all possible, arbitrator.
Yeah, if you have the defense clock rolling, can you give him an extra, what's that, 30 seconds? Alright, defense, you're good to go.
Thank you. Again, by all means, Captain, do you have anything that you could bring forward as the question was stated to you? Any evidence, anything that you need to bring forward that would alleviate any of these charges?
I have some information that might help on the case of Newt.
By all means.
The shock trooper Sabine E. Morri was guarding my person directly on the formation field at the time of Newt's supposed death. And Newt himself had decided to, from my understanding, take his life after having an altercation with me in the formation field, where I had threatened his life for laughing into my face as I was attempting to explain to him the code of conduct and the primer rules. After receiving his death threat from me, which I did not carry out, he decided to go to the chapel and take his own life. From my understanding was he left a note that said traitor, which was probably meant for me.
Understood. The defense rests with this witness.
Prosecution, cross-examine, question mark?
I have a question.
Who was that?
Adrastia.
Oh, cool. Alright, yep. Carry on, cross-examine as you will.
Captain, when you receive reports, do you receive reports from other units or organizations within the Imperium on the ship?
Yes.
Say the Sisters?
Yes.
You do. Do they insert them timely?
I usually get them either within a few hours or, if it's very late at night, within the next day.
Understood. That's what I've got.
Alright. Captain, you are dismissed from being a witness. Defense, you can proceed with your, I believe, third and final witness, right?
Yes, sir. Our third and final witness that we would like to call to the stand is one Miss Nicole, one of the Battle Sisters assigned under the Adam Chalice.
Okay, Ness, do we have her available?
Let me see if she can join the tribunal. One moment. Final sister Nicole Variah has been notified.
Time of notification. I'm gonna give it 60 seconds. Same thing with
that is fine.
Shock Trooper. The court will also make a note, defense, that you have had a trend of calling witnesses that are not immediately available.
Understood.
So I do understand the prosecution did it once, but that was a duty transfer.
Battle Sister has joined the tribunal box and requires permissions.
Looking for them now. A moment.
They're on mute.
Testing.
Check.
Coming through good. Defense, you can proceed.
Nicole, we have brought you in today to serve as a witness in regards to the charge number 1, in regards to which the commissariat claims that Sabine E. Morri leveled a weapon at a member of the commissariat. My first question for you is, were you present and of sound mind during the time of the incident?
Yes, I was.
Are you of sound mind now?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Moving along from that, during this time, were you in the vicinity of Sabine? And if so, how close?
I don't remember how close it was, but yes, I was within the vicinity. May I have a moment to explain?
That is up to the arbitrator. I need no further for that question, but if the arbitrator sees fit.
The questioning of witnesses is conducted by counsels. If you want them to explain, you may. If you don't, tell them not to, and I will give it to the prosecution.
Very well, then. Moving along, the next question that I have for you would be, were you capable of hearing and seeing the ongoing events? Did you have all of your faculties and were able to hear and see what was being said and done and so on?
Yes.
All right. At any point...
Objection.
Go ahead.
At the time when Sabine E. Morri leveled their weapon, Battle Sister Nicole had their weapon trained upon the commissariat. Thus they had their back turned to Sabine E. Morri and are thus incapable of affirming nor denying.
Hold defense.
Of affirming or denying whether or not she raised the weapon.
That's a valid objection. Defense, what say you to that?
We say that, as already established by our previous witness and a professional on the level of training by which the sororitas undergo, it has already been stated that they have a large training regime focusing on the ability to acquire, observe, and monitor multiple targets. And though the commissariat can claim a valid statement towards the canoness not being able to see Sabine, even if Nicole's weapon was trained on the commissariat individual in question, there is still a chance that the Sabine could have been in the periphery, and that is what we are seeking to establish.
Objection. She was directly behind Nicole.
Objection. If she was directly behind Nicole, then she would have had no vector to raise and levy a weapon against the commissariat member. During the time the canoness could not vouch
I
for such a thing.
misspoke. Rather, they were approximately a yard behind, but with the back turned, thus unable to be seen.
Still doesn't give them a clean vector. Moving along. The arbitrator is willing.
You guys just did a whole little piece right there by yourself, didn't you?
We apologize, arbitrator. We are both very passionate about this case and want to see that the Emperor's will is done here today.
Carry on, defense.
Thank you.
The order, motherfucker.
Alrighty. And another question for you, Nicole. At any time, again, I will ask to ensure that this was clearly communicated, so forgive me if this is a repeat question. However, did you at any time see Sabine raise her weapon against a member of the commissariat during this interaction?
Yes, because during the time she was directly to my left, and I could see her clearly out of my left eye.
Okay. And she raised a weapon to the commissariat?
Yes, but only after I raised a weapon after the commissariat had an execution bolt pistol pointed at the canoness.
Understood. So you would posit that this was a reaction, not an action?
I cannot say that. I cannot confirm or deny that because I'm not inside her mind.
Indeed.
Objection.
Which is?
I shall reiterate from the evidence I presented earlier. Sabine E. Morri stated, "I am placing my foot down. You will not shoot my guardsman." End quote.
And that has... I apologize.
Thus, it was not a reaction. It is a deliberated action that they committed, not in reaction to anything going with the sisters.
That is a valid objection, and I will sustain that. That does lend evidence to premeditation.
I should also mention, I think Showtime's AFK. Like, he's not responding to DMs.
Showtime, are you here?
I do not think he is able to check if the timer is gone. Oh, you are here. You are. Never mind.
Do you have the
He
timer?
is here. You have the timer, Showtime.
Are you actually shitting me?
Fuck it, I'm
Showtime.
They have 11 minutes left. That's what I'm saying. Yep.
The defense, calm. I apologize, arbitrator, but the defense will be more than happy after this witness is done to rest our case, regardless of what is established with this witness, as to allot for the loss of our timer.
The court formally apologizes to the defense, and I assure you appropriate measures will be taken to ensure that doesn't happen again. Now please continue.
Thank you. So, again, Sabine, by your own admission, did in fact raise the weapon to the commissar. In your best opinion, Nicole, can you please posit why she would have done such a thing?
Well, the guardsman was not in threat, seeing how the guardsman in question, Chesty, would have had the bolt round would have had to gone through my armor, which I was wearing power armor, and hit him. So the guardsman was not in danger. I was standing directly in front of him. So
Yes.
the only way I can possibly see them raising their weapon is to help defend the canoness, since the pistol was pointed at them. But otherwise, that's my best opinion. I cannot say anything else.
Alright, to the best of your ability, would you agree that the defense of a canoness is worthy of Sabine raising her weapon in that moment?
No, because she had no need to, seeing as how only one weapon was drawn from the commissary and my weapon was drawn. The third weapon being drawn actually escalated the situation some bit until it was calmed down by the canoness.
Understood. And my final question. In the regards of one Sabine E. Morri raising a weapon to this commissariat member, did she continue to raise this weapon against the commissariat member as this was being diffused? Or when you were asked to lower your weapon, or when she was asked to lower her weapon, did you all do so and abide by such when that was asked of you?
Yes, we all lowered our weapons.
And you did so succinctly?
To the best of our ability.
Of course, leaving room for human error. Very well, then. The defense rests with this witness.
Prosecution, do you want to cross-examine?
I have no reason to ask any questions. Commissar Justian?
I have a question or two, perhaps.
Go ahead.
Sister Nicole, what was
Objection.
your primary during this situation?
Hang on. What's your objection? They
My
didn't even
objection-
say anything yet.
My objection is that there is no reason that Andrastia should be allowed to cross-examine the witnesses. They are both wed. And this is clearly
Objection.
bias, and the prosecution can leave
Wed?
this witness where they wish.
Yes, Lord Anthemius.
Everyone hold. The court does acknowledge that the two are married. However, the court doesn't view that as a source of bias, seeing as this is the defense's witness that is being cross-examined.
We
I'm
simply
gonna allow it. You know, I don't think I actually said it. Yeah. Battle Sister Nicole, be advised, this is a tribunal convened under the Inquisitorial writ of Lord Inquisitor Caven, who is channeling the will of His Divine Majesty, the God Emperor of Mankind. To lie here to this court is to lie to the Emperor, and it will be handled as such. Commissar, please continue.
Sister Nicole, where was your primary attention focused on during the situation?
At the beginning, it was the execution bolt pistol leveled at my head.
And after that?
Then it was on the situation of the pistol pointed at the canoness's head.
And after that?
That is the only two things I was majorly focused on.
So while you may have picked up the investigators' rifle in your periphery, you wouldn't be able to address what they might have been thinking or reacting or anything like that.
No, because one, I am not able to read minds, and if I was, I would not be standing here. So I cannot say what they were thinking.
Understood. That's all I've got.
All right, Battle Sister Nicole, you are dismissed as a witness. Defense.
We are resting as agreed.
All right, prosecution. Do you have anything further before we move to closing statements?
I have nothing further.
Commissar Drastia?
Nothing further.
Okay. Prosecution. Evens or odds?
Evens.
Say again?
Defense counsel, you have first closing statement. Give me 1 moment. All right. You have 5 minutes. Begin on your first word.
The defense here today has embarked on an odyssey. An odyssey by which we had 3 objectives. I will now render them plainly to you. The first objective was to secure a right to life. That was done by the gracious Lord Commissar, and hopefully the arbitrator will see fit that regardless, this young woman not be put to death. Secondly, we attempted to establish innocence. On some of these cases, or charges, I would like to think that we have done an excellent job of that. And some of them, that will be left to the deliberation of the judges. However, we have indeed proven time and time again that the commissariat, in their actions, in their reports, in their commitments to these incidences, and so forth, have been, and I say this respectfully, of a lackluster nature. And thus, as we can see that each of these reports is riddled with semantics, friends dueling that perhaps got out of hand, that then a commissar sees out of the corner of his eye and writes an assault report on. Perhaps the damaged servo skull in the medbay, that by a multitude of witnesses, and by the records of the mechanicus to confirm, was not in fact damaged. By the medical malpractice of the second IC of the commissariat faction in the medbay, by punching an injured guardsman in the chest, and finally by what most certainly is heart-wrenching to admit to, the commissariat's reports in regards to Chesty. Hopefully that has painted a picture for you all as judges as to the current state of the commissariat. Sabine E. Morri has been brought on trial for a large amount of charges. Quite a few, in fact. And these charges, as we have laid them out before you, have been defended, picked apart, and we are confident as a defense that we have provided the best duty we can for one Sabine E. Morri. Finally, we would like to posit something for you judges to consider. It is clear by the impassioned defenses of the individuals brought to this stand, by the turnout to this tribunal, and by the very nature of her position, there are many in the guard that find Sabine a figure to aspire to. What we would ask is that this source of morale, camaraderie, leadership, and this source of an individual clearly willing to give their life for the God Emperor of mankind on a dime, be judged fairly in the eyes of those gathered here, that the failures of the commissariat are observed, and finally, that this is laid to rest, and that this young woman, in her life, riddled with strife and hardship, punishment, and all sorts of other nasty, terrible things, can finally get back on track, and she can serve and do her job as the corporal of the shock troopers. Judges, I rest my case.
Okay. Prosecution, you have 5 minutes for your closing statement on your first word.
Through thorough investigation and painstaking attention to detail, we, the Commissariat, have presented our case condemning Sabine E. Morri. We remain steadfast in our position and have conducted our duties to the utmost of our ability. The repeated actions of Sabine E. Morri have led us to this. To repeat what the Lord Commissar said at the beginning of the opening statement, he does not wish for death. However, it is up to the tribunal to decide what her fate is, whether it to be innocent or guilty. We, the Militarum Tempestus, only seek to improve ourselves and others, no matter the cost, and we hope to make the treacherous waters of this political landscape a better place in the future. The Emperor guides us all. Ave Imperator.
Ave Imperator, and properly pithy at that. All right, this is the penultimate moment of the tribunal. I will say again that though this will not have a bearing upon my verdict, because I do not have a vote lest the honorable and vetted men and women behind me put themselves into a tie, but this tribunal has disappointed from the standard the Inquisition sets upon its actions, and further tribunals will, I assure you, come with proper reforms straight from Lord Caven's hand himself. The judges and I are now going to properly retire to a sealed private vox, and we will return with a appropriate verdict when the time is ready. Judges, if you can join me up in private too.
Copy.
I've done everything I can for you, Bean. We're out of character. Yeah.
You need to go and push to talk, baby.
Yeah, that's fine.
Baby.
Hmm.
You need to go and push to talk or something.
I know every choice was a gamble. I did it on purpose. I'm well aware of that, Priska.
Oh wait, I'm unmuted? Hold up. When the fuck did I get unmuted?
Yeah, we're up here in private one currently.
I went to go grab food.
I did everything I could, kid.
I know. Let's see if I die or not. Oh boy. Probably.
I don't know because we disproved. So we covered charge 1. I could see that going in guilty. 2, we knocked out of the park. 3, we knocked out of the park. 4, I'd like to think we knocked out of the park. And 5, we knocked out of the park.
It's only one charge, and I think the only charge that could be argued is fucking even. I think because 1 is the one with endangerment, and if anybody from us actual, like, I understand it's bias or whatever, but anybody who knows my character would understand that me and Novak have had a long-running rivalry when it comes to dueling.
Yeah,
so that's kind of normal for them to beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing that I'm saying, though, right? Is that we managed to go through the first incident, right? And that one was rough. That's the Achilles heel. 2, we clearly established that you and Novak had a semi-formal relationship. We established that this is normal, that this was not an assault, blah, 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 whatever, right? 3, we established that there was no damage to the servo skull, which completely illegitimizes that claim. Yeah, somebody have to pull him. 4, we established that the fucking commissar is guilty of assault of a non-commissioned officer and guilty of medical malpractice.
Which just makes him hypocritical as fuck.
Yeah. the validity of it, which is the whole thing we had to do there.
I wish that we brought up Willful for his opinion, because Willful was the one assaulted, and I think he was here.
Yeah, I would have brought up Willful, but I didn't want to give the commissariat the ability to pressure Willful. Well, not claim bias, to pressure Willful on what happened in that medbay. That picture had already been painted so perfectly, there was no need to.
Alright.
Give me a moment.
Next thing you know, they pop into the chat. Next thing they do, pop in the chat. Yeah, sorry, Sabine, you get to die. It's like, what the fuck?
Hey, might I interject real quick on something that you might have missed? You know how Newt's character was very religious, and he was like very much trying to be loyal and devout in his things? What if what if the note for Trader was not meant for anyone except for himself? Because that's
That
the
could have
reason
been.
he killed himself.
Yeah, but we don't need that because we already have an alibi for Sabine. We have a motive for him to kill himself, as admitted on the stand by the captain. Like, that charge is dead in the water.
Yeah, see,
I know.
I felt bad for that one too, because I was like, wait a minute, so if that counts as fucking meta or whatever, that's a problem, because that means that we've been doing shit as like me, Servius, and all of MI, because most of MI are trained in electrical. Almost all of us would be guilty of fucking fail RP. Yeah, tech heresy and fail RP.
And hold. And that being said, Cody hand waved that. You guys are fine. Nobody can bring that against you now.
Right.
And because of Connor's testament on that, and the way that was framed, that the Newt charge is dead to rights unless bias wins out.
Alright.
The only one that's going to get you, because like, my prediction or my hopes of this, right, is charge 2, 3, 4, and 5 should all be dropped. Like, every single one of those should be dropped. 1 is the one that's going to fuck you, and there was no good defense I give you. Newt should be dropped. The fucking charge 4, the threatening the commissar, should be dropped on the basis that that man just literally made an attempt on the life of your NCO.
No, York. By the way, he not only did they attack the NCO, if you read the medical records, they literally killed him. Like Willful died legally and then got revived by Octavian because Octavian rolled a nat 100.
Yeah. No, then you have the servo skull. If that doesn't get dropped, then I really wish that I could be like, we'll fucking take it up the chain. I forget what that's called, appeal. Like, we'll appeal up the chain. We'll go up, fucking. But that's not an option here. Yeah, but the destruction of the servo skull should be fine. There was no destruction. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know I would've. Dude, I hated fucking, I was like so fucked. I was under the impression that I'm dead, and then York came in clutch and was like, big brain, perfect man, fucking Hagrid over here. And it was,
I am none of those.
And then all the fucking commissars were like, wait, what? Hold up. You're not supposed to be good at speaking, what the fuck? And York over here is like, get fucked, bitch.
I
You
don't
aren't
know.
killing my daughter today.
Honestly, I kind of felt like listening in and not able to say anything. I kind of just didn't like Frederick Stone the whole time.
Neither do
Yeah.
I
Well, yeah, because that's
so
his whole thing. His whole thing is that he's supposed to be all fucking
also,
condescending. That's the commissar's eye.
If you could have brought up all his prior like mishaps, like I think there was a case of him.
Yeah, it would have been
that would've
irrelevant.
and that gotten thrown. Yeah, that would have gotten thrown out because that's what I tried to do. If you remember, when I asked, was alcohol involved? Because if alcohol was involved, I could have nailed him to a cross.
Actually, to be entirely honest,
Yeah.
Wait. What was the case of that? I can't remember. I think he might have been drinking.
no, I was about to say, he actually was, like, in character, he was drinking, but I have no way to isolely prove that. Other than testimony, and it already passed, so I just didn't speak.
And I couldn't be testimony because I was on a bed in the room next to fucking Willful when it happened.
I remember watching that, but no, he was drinking with Natalie when he did it, so technically he lied. At least from my remembrance, because every time he's with Natalie, he's drinking. So...
Oh.
I suck at this, I know.
I don't agree with that.
Screenshot.
Now just say it how you want to say it.
Yeah, you're fine, Priska.
Are you serious? I agree with that. I agree with that.
Probably. Here's what I stated. If Sabine dies, but she was to die in the proper manner, so let's say I ended up putting her out, and Sabine ends up dying, like, you know, holding a line for everybody to get away or something like that, I'd be happy with that. I'd be like, okay, Sabine died doing her job. That's fine. I would be pissed if the commissars went, yeah, so unfortunately for you, died. And Sabine died. That's why I'm like, okay, I would leave the server, because all my shit as a character would be removed. All my awards would be removed. I'd be erased from fucking 182nd history. Yeah, exactly. I'd be eradicated. They'd just be like, "Boop, you're gone." And I'm not a fan of that concept. Yeah, I meant when I say that, I mean in reference to dying. Like, not. I understand that I can't always choose when to die. I just don't want to die in a dumb way. I don't want people to be like, "Ooh, come on."
I do agree with the Magos.
That's fine, Priska. Just don't hit me with the bullshit that some of the GMs are doing, because you know how I'm the Myrmidon, right? Like, my whole thing is doing sword combat. Well, here's the funny thing. You will die, kind of thing. I understand.
So when I
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The one time Blabs was smart. I know he did.
Yeah, but all right.
All I say is Preska, and with that, I do request that, like, from another fellow staff member, don't hit the server with, like, the stupid bullshit. Like, some of the GMs have hit people like, "Oh, that's unfortunate. You get nervo rot."
We're gonna come down, boys. It's time for the verdict.
Okay.
All right. So it was not a tie, and I did not have to render a personal verdict. I would remind everybody that this tribunal has taken place under the aegis of the Inquisition and under the aegis of the God Emperor, and its verdict, higher than any faction, is to be regarded as word and law. The judgment on literally all counts, according to the verdict of the venerable and vetted men and women behind me, is guilty in extremis. The verdict, as rendered by my own personal appraisal of the situation, is thus. Commissar Prefect, it is my present understanding that now that military intelligence has been dissolved by writ of the captain, the Penal Legion and all subsidiary divisions thereof are now owned and run by the Officio Prefectus. Is that correct?
That is correct, Arbitrator.
Okay. So the first thing that is happening, Wing Commander, if you would like to speak to the guard-specific elements of the accused's punishment, or would you prefer that I dole it out?
I would like you to dull it out, and I can clean up anything or specify anything.
Very well. So, the accused is to be interred within the Officio Prefectus's Penal Legion for a minimum time slot of no less than 6 weeks, and her release from that Penal Legion pursuant to the Commissariat's evaluation of her worthiness to rejoin the 182nd, or indeed any worthwhile part of Lord Caven's battle fleet. Secondly, she is to be stripped of all of medals, honors, accolades, and subsidiary honors, including but not limited to the medal previously mentioned by the Defense Council, her veterancy status and shock trooper training, and all specialized armors, weaponries, items that are of a military persuasion, which are to be confiscated and handed over to her rightful chain of command for evaluation and dispersion to more worthwhile soldiers. I appreciate everybody's due diligence and patience in this matter, and you have my personal assurance that any further tribunals will be handled with a far more rigorous and proper evaluation. Commissar Prefect, as of right now, the accused is fully within your command and element of deviation, and you can do as you will. Everyone, the tribunal is concluded, and you all may have a good day. Ave Imperator.
Ave Imperator.
Ave Imperator.
Captain, if you are here, I would be willing to speak to fill you in on a few things. I'll be in the lounge.
I'm gonna go. I gotta go talk to York before he shoots.
Kodiak, hang on. I actually have to talk to you, Kodiak.
I would highly recommend, Cody, that you stay as far away from me as possible right now.
Including me. No one fucking come near me.
Yeah.
Someone come to me, I'm fucking killing them. Commissars, if you come near me, I'll fucking end you.